Well, hello and a very warm welcome to another sunny evening here at Shelbourne Park for more Talking Dogs TV. And what a night we've got to look forward to. 23 races in total, 12 here from Shelburne, 11 from Clonmel. We've got Sporting Press Irish Edition, Puppy Oaks action, semi-finals from the Produce Stakes. It'll be coming thick and fast, as will the first race, because like every week, they're going straight to trot for our opener, and it's a pretty good opener as well. Ian Fortune, what a night we've got ahead of us.
Yeah, great night's race to look forward to, Rob. The ladies provide some tremendous action in the opening round and expect more of the same tonight. I expect, given the conditions, the warmth, hopefully plenty of water on the track, that 28 seconds might just be rattled here tonight. Something like Billy's Diva or something. But we'll soon find out. Meanwhile, in traps for the opener. First race here tonight at Shelbourne Park is the Welcome to Shelbourne Open 525. 1 on the cards, 2 Carrigain North, 3 Swords Maestro, 4 Tradesman, 5 JT Havana, 6 is Butsy's Best. Hair up behind traps. And they're off and racing. Good start up the inside by Trap. 1 on the cards, leads into the opening turn. 4 now challenging Tradesman and Swords Maestro in second and third. Swords Maestro in traffic problems, but out front it's 1 on the cards that races on by 3.5. 4 in second, Tradesman and 2 Carrigain North. Then comes 3 back and forth. Swords Maestro trying to improve. He slips through into third spot. It's still 1 on the cards with 4 Tradesman. 3 Swords Maestro flying, but off the final bend. It's 1 on the cards as led from early. Will go on to score. Second is 4 Tradesman and third was 3 Swords Maestro. The winning time 28.81.
Yeah, 28.81, the winning time of our first of the night, and it was pretty much over. Well, I wouldn't say over from Trap Rise, but on the cards did himself a big favour by getting a good break. Remember, he'd won 4 of his previous 5 coming into this race. He's generally a good start. He'd made most in those runs, and once he led around the opening 2 bends, well, he was always going to be tough to catch. The big eye catcher, there's no doubt about it, the Swords Maestro. He clocked a really good run here a couple of months at Shelbourne Park. He didn't have the best of luck early on, but he's absolutely motored to get into third bend, the third bend, and he's most definitely a Greyhound who probably has his best days ahead of him. But you can't beat an informed Greyhound. On the card for Christine Taylor, and that's now win number 8 from its 22nd start, and well, now 5 from 6, so that was pretty good going. As we said, what a night we've got coming up. Ian's already said he expects the 28 barrier to be rattled tonight, and well, when you see the quality that we've got on offer here at Shelbourne Park, it wouldn't be a surprise. Second round action of the Sporting Press Ireland edition. It's a tongue twister, Irish Oaks, but what a night we've got coming up. There are a couple of non-runners in the Irish Oaks, just to let you know. In our fourth race, Trap 2, Ballycone Lexi is an absentee. There's no reserve there. And then in the race after that, that's the race which features the defending champion. Paul Hennessy's Corner House Lady is out. So we've got five Greyhounds who are going to traps for those heats. And we'll try and maybe get Ian's outright thoughts on the Sporting Press Irish Edition, Irish Oaks, when we come back after Clonmel. But as you can see, they are parading at Clonmel. We'll be getting to the bold Joe Sheahan. He's out of his comfort zone tonight. We've taken him away from Limerick to bring him into Tipperary, and he's got big boots to fill because there's no Emma Buckley tonight. She's otherwise engaged. So Joe, you've big boots to fill, and we'll get to you shortly. First on parade for our opening race at Clonmel is Avangate Whitney for Donny Mulvihill, one of the 3 ladies in the lineup. She's a daughter of Loghill Blake, and she's a winner of 1 from 6. This is the run happy at stud 83525, opening semi-final, by the way. 2 is Cloncunny PC for JJ Scully, another female in this lineup. She's a daughter of Patsy Sabbath. She's 2 from 6 so far. 3 is Peanut Berry for Patrick Casey and Glenworth, a third of the females, a daughter of Taylor Skye. 4 is Colbeck Brick for Margaret Enright in Dungarvan. He's a 3-time winner from 19 starts. In 5 is Ballybrack Storm for the Elephant 8 Syndicate, trained by Gerard O'Brien, 3 from 9, a 33% strike rate. And in 6 we've got Minor Trump, who's the only wide seed for Mary O'Connor in Clonmel, so a local runner there, and this one has won 2 from 5 starts so far. A couple of minutes to go until Greyhound to be going to traps. We might go with our 3 to follow, as we're going to do for most of the night. And we're going to kick off with Trap 2, Cloncunny PC for JJ Scully, a daughter of Black Sea Sabbath, as we said. Some really good runs in Waterford, and a recent good trial at Clonmel might put this lady in with a chance of, if not winning, qualifying for next week's final. The next we'll look at is Trap 4, Colbeck Brick for Margaret Enright, a 3-time winner from 19 starts. Possible early leader if previous runs are anything to go by. And this lad, he's a son of Ballymacvick, and he knows Clonmel pretty well, so that might stand to him as well. well. And the last of our 3 to follow is Trap 5, Ballybrack Storm for the Elegant 8 Syndicate, trained by Garrod O'Brien. As we said, a 33% strike rate, 3 from 9. Good runs in Youghal and Thurles, and a repeat of a couple of those runs might just be good enough for Ballybrack Storm. But it's a really competitive start to our Clonmel action. Obviously, we've got the 2 Produce Stakes semi-finals. Would you believe there's 5 stakes taking place at Clonmel tonight? It just shows you the calibre of Greyhound running at the County Tipperary venue. And speaking of calibre of Greyhounds, the top quality, the top man himself, Limerick's own Joe Sheahan, is back. And Joe, before we get your thoughts on the opening race, what a night we've got to look forward to at Clonmel.
Well, what an opening from you there, Rob. Great description to me. The pressure is really on. Massive boots to fill after Emma Buckley's wonderful performances over the last number of weeks. It's a brilliant night's action here. The semi-finals are the Produce Stakes. Really intriguing action. The likes of Good Cody, Vipers Buzz, Deadly Destroyer, and of course Explosive Boy. Even the opening race here, I know it's only an 8-3, 5-2-5 sweepstake, but still, going down to the runners, look at Trap 6, and only September 19, well, but only 5 races ran, could be one to follow for the future. It's fantastic, fantastic action. Really looking forward to it, as you say, 5 sweepstakes to look forward to. And of course, the open sprint in memory of a fantastic man, Sorley O'Dornan, to look forward to in race number 3 as well. I'm going to go with Trap number 6 here, Minor Trump, of course, for all the Trump supporters, if anyone is out there. Trap number 6, of course, owned by Mary O'Connor. Jim Scully has trap number 2 as well. Cloncunny piece as well. Short video thereabouts, but I'm going nail my colours to mast on Trap 6, Minor Trump.
Bell goes for the first semi-final of the run. Happy at stud 8, 3 in 1 Avangate Whitney, 2 Cloncunny PC, 3 Peanut Berry, 4 Coolbag Brig, 5 Ballybrack Storm, 6 Minor Trump. Here's behind Traps. And away they go, and Trap 4 is showing early pace and leads up in the middle from 6 and 2. As they go into the bend, it's Trap 2 takes it up, moves a bit wide, but still has the advantage over 4 and 2nd, 3 and 3rd, and 6 and 4th. Passing the 300-yard marker, it's Trap 2, Cloncunny PC, who leads by 2 lengths from 3, 4 and 6, who are matching strides. 3 now is 2nd, and 2 is still leading. 6 is 3rd now, and 4 is 4th. But as a turn for home, it's Cloncunny PC, who still sets the pace. Is going to get home to win for Jim Scully. 3 2nd and 6 3rd. 2, 3 and 6 for your trio. The winning time 28.70.
Yeah, good winner of our opening race at Clonmel. For a long time I thought Joe was going to kick off with a winner. Good winning time of 28.70, and we're going to have a look at this. We're going to have a couple of looks at this opening race at Clonmel. It was the opening semi-final of the Run Happy at Stud 8-3 semi-final. It was a fairly level break with the exception of Avangate Whitney in Trap 1, and off the second bend. This is when Cloncunny PC really started to hit gear. Remember, we did say she'd some good runs at Waterford, and she had a couple of trials at Clonmel, and she'd run at Clonmel in the past, so she knew the track well, and she built up a nice advantage around the 3rd and 4th bend. At this stage, Peanut Berry was closing down, another female, but she could never really get to the leader, Cloncunny PC, and she's managed to make it now, win number 3 from 7 starts, and as you heard in commentary with Eddie, she's done it in a time of 28.70, and of course she was one of the 3 to follow, so we've started with a winner. Joe, we're going to have a second look at this replay, the 8-3-5-2-5, the opening semi-final. As we said, it's a card full of stakes tonight at Clonmel, not just about the Produce Stakes. I thought early doors, when your lad got a good break, you were going to start off with a winner. He'd every chance, and it was a good winner in the end.
Yeah, but definitely not surprised about the result. Cloncunny PC trained, of course, in Pilltown by Jim Scully. Fantastic trainer, very, very shrewd individual. And Jim has bred some top class greyhounds here. In fact, Cloncunny PC's little brother won in Enniscorthy, the unraced during the week, in a clock of 28.67. Only had 6 runs coming in to his race tonight, so now he's 3 from 7, a very good strike rate. And look at the clock, 28.70. Every other greyhound in the race had a chance to come at him. They didn't quite get there. Fantastic clock by Cloncunny PC, and this is definitely a greyhound one to follow. Of course, Trap 3 Peanut Berry running quite well in second as well. Minor Trump ran into a bit of trouble, and definitely one to follow in the future as well. But all in all, 28.70 for our opener in A3 Racing Clonmel just gives us a snippet of what is to come later on in the card.
Absolutely, Joe. Thanks for that. We look forward to your thoughts on the Produce Stakes semi-finals as well. Greyhound are just coming on parade for the first of our 8 second-round heats of the Sporting Press online edition Irish Oaks. As we said, the more I say it, the more difficult it is to say. But it's a top-class renewal of the competition. Ian, just before they come on parade for our opening second-round heat, we're down to the second round. A couple of non-runners, but nothing major. What was the highlight last week for you?
I think So many highlights, but Ballymacbeanie coming back after a near 6-month layoff and making every inch of the running in 28-23. You know, it's a stunning run when you consider it was her first run in such a lengthy amount of time. It was pretty professional, it was pretty emphatic, and it was, well, almost ruthless. With further improvement likely, I think she's still the one to beat in this year's Oaks. But, you know, the likes of Front of Manny, Benamedina, Roxy and Billy's Diva did massive runs down the back straight to recover from less than ideal starts. So I think there's a chance of some big runs here tonight at Shelbourne Park, and hopefully in this first of the heats we'll see one. As you can see, they're on parade. So the bitch is on parade now for this opening second round heat of the Sporting Press Online Edition Irish Oaks in one Rockglen Swift. Real powerful youngster for Peter Cronin, Sean Elvin and KJ Hazeldine, a daughter of Druby Sydney, a Swift Medora. 2 in your card, Santa's Jet for Ryan McGill, a daughter of Druby's Jet and Big Man's Daisy with 2 wins from 6. 3 is Ballymac Orna, Declan Byrne for the I Can't Believe It Syndicate, a daughter of Vulturi and Ballymac Bell. 4 is Burgess Macy, Martin Lanny for Vincent Desmond, a daughter of Good News and Paradise Summer. 5 is Highview Magnus, Dolores Merriman, a daughter of Patsy Sabbath and Highview Idol. And out in 6 is Galadriel for Paul Reid and Paul Harrick, trained by Declan Byrne, a second runner for Declan. He already has the favourite Ballymac Orna in Trap 3. And this Galadriel is a daughter of Druby Sydney and Limini. It's the opening heat of the second round of the Sporting Press Online Edition Irish Oaks. They're making their way towards Traps. Cracking race to look forward to.
Yeah, cracking race indeed to look forward to. We can hardly wait for these upcoming 8 heats of the Irish Oaks. Let's get our 3 to follow. We're going to kickstart with Trap 1, Rock Glen Swift for Sean Elvin and the Hazeldine team, as daughter of Droopy's Sydney and Swift Medora, trained by Peter Cronin. She ran a really good race in defeat last week despite encountering traffic problems. She has beaten the likes of Front or Manny in the past, which is really good form, and if she gets a clear run, she's got a big say in maybe going all the way or going close in this opening second round heat. Trap 3 is the next of our 3 to follow. The obvious one is Ballymac Orna, very impressive last week in 28-31. Of course, she got to the final of the Limerick Oaks. She's 3 from 4 here at Shelbourne, and there's little or no doubt about it. If she hits the lids, she is the most likely winner. And the last of our 3 to follow is the Offaly Rider, Highview Magnet for Dolores and Jerry Merriman. She's 3 from 5 so far. She's a daughter of Patsy Sabbath. Good run in defeat last week to finish second to Front or Manny. She's possibly the likely leader. She is 3 from 5. She's only had 5 runs, so she's improving all the time. And if you're looking for a little bit of value on your Bark and Buzz app, something in an all-the-way trio, maybe Front or maybe the Trap 5 Highview Magnet is the one to make up the trio, because you need a little bit of luck if you want to make it pay with the trio. Ian, obviously the next 90 minutes or so is going to be all about the Irish Oaks. You've talked about Ballymacbeanie. I suppose Scooby Princess, outside the defending champion, she's been the bitch over the last 12 months. She got to the semi-finals of the Irish Derby, and she's kicked on since then, and she was brilliant at Limerick in recent weeks.
Yeah, you know, you can say 12 months, but it's really inside the last 2 or 3 months that she's really stepped up to the plate. She's definitely at the peak of her powers at present. She's on a run of 5 wins in succession. Pretty stunning runs through the action at Limerick, of course. She won her prep race there. She also won her 3 rounds of the Limerick Oaks in fine style, winning the final. Well, she basically just bullied her rivals into submission. She did something similar here last week in the opening round. Didn't have the cleanest of runs in the early yards. Took a couple of bumps. Swanley Chick did briefly head her, but she was just too strong from the second bend. She's out in 4 tonight. I think she's far better drawn, and if she avoids bad traffic, which, you know, if you actually look at the race itself, she probably should do. She'd be up in the firing line in the early yards, and once something doesn't run off and knock her sideways, I think she'll take a hell of a lot of beating. And again, she's one of those bitches with the clear passage and a good start. She's well capable of doing close to 28 seconds tonight, should the track allow. First race tonight, 28.81, a confirmed front runner with some good form around Limerick. Maybe the track isn't flying, but certainly I expect some big runs.
Yeah, we'll get an idea how fast the track is run, I'd say, in the next half an hour or so. Scooby Princess, she's my outright fancy. Right, if you are getting involved, by the way, right throughout the night, and you want to make the stream pay, the Bark and Buzz app is the way to go. Log on, you know, you can bet on all of the action here at Shelburne, at Clonmel, all of the Irish Greyhound action taking place right throughout the country. Remember, if you can manage just to click with a forecast or a tricast in one of any of the races tonight, it's probably not just going to pay for the night. It's probably going to pay for a weekend away, and we don't have too far to look to get a weekend away if Friday's announcement is any to go by. So remember, you can win big for small stakes on the Bark and Buzz app, and that's what it's there for. Right, it's all about the Sporting Press Online Edition Irish Oaks for the next 90 minutes or so. Ian Fortune, I'm a jealous man. I'd love to be where you are. What a couple of hours of action we've got coming up.
Yeah, really looking forward to it, Rob. As you can see, in traps now for this opening second round heat. And there is the bell. Heat 1 of the second round of the Sporting Press Online edition. Irish Oaks 1, Rockland Swift 2, Santa's Jet 3, Ballymac Orna 4, Burgess Macy 5, Highview Magnet, and 6 is Galadriel. Here up behind traps. Racing, good start by trap 3, Ballymac Orna. Once again, she flew from boxes last week. She leads to the bend tonight. She's challenged now by 5, Highview Magnet, and 6 on the outside. Galadriel, a couple knocked over on the opening turn there, but out front, and it is trap 6 now. It hits the front, Galadriel from 3, Ballymac Orna. 5 is third, Highview Magnet, but it is 6, Galadriel, that's on by 2 lengths to 3, Ballymac Orna, and 5, Highview Magnet third, but Galadriel, this powerful tracker, leads her kennel companion up the home straight. A 1-2 for Declan Byrne. Second is 3, Ballymac Orna, and 5, Highview Magnet back in third. The winning time 28:31. A superb run by Galadriel.
Yeah, superb run by Galadriel indeed. We didn't give her a place in the 3 to follow. It wasn't because we didn't fancy her. It was just such a competitive opening second round heat, and she's definitely proved whatever doubters out there wrong. Let's take it up from the second bend onwards. When Ballymac Orna came out and led after the opening 2 bends, I presume Ian and everybody thought this was all over, but from the second bend, Galadriel just went by her as if she wasn't there. Obviously, she's a kennel companion to Ballymac Orna, so they know plenty about each other, but once Galadriel took it up off the second bend, if anything, she was never coming back to her kennel companion, and she's done that in really good style. Highview Magnet, we mentioned her, we gave her a favourable mention for the Merrymans. She's now into the quarterfinals of the Sporting Press Online edition Irish Oaks, and she's definitely a female who is improving all the time. There was a little bit of traffic problems early on, and that pretty much meant that we only had the 3 involved. Ian, let's take it up from the second bend, because when Ballymac Orna led, did you think it was a matter of how far?
It was. She just seemed a bit scratchy around the opening 2 bends. I just wonder, was she getting her toe in? Trap 6 Galadriel definitely carried more momentum from a wider draw around the second bend, and she got first run on Ballymac Orna in a way. I know Ballymac Orna did lead into the opening corner, but Galadriel seemed to catapult her way off the second bend. Once she hit the front, she has sub 31 seconds for 5.75 yards. She's very strong, she's very powerful, and there was no doubt about the winner off the second bend. But a good win, a good run by the second, and of course Highview Magnet. She continues to improve and progress. She was back in third, and it's still better to come from her. 1 or 2 knocked over there. It wasn't great to see, but a good winner, Galadriel.
Yeah, let's hope all the Greyhounds are okay after that second race. That's the main thing we want here tonight. Okay, we'll be looking to the Produce Stakes in due course, but we've got a couple of races before that. The second race coming up at Clonmel is the second of the semi-finals of the Run Happy at Stud 83525, and we believe Greyhounds are just about to come on parade at Clonmel for this second race of the night. So, as you can see, they are now coming on parade. It's like they read our mind, and the first on parade is Sporting Rita in Trap 1 from Michael Rowe in England. She's trained by Jerry Griffin. She's a 2-time winner from 30 starts, but that probably doesn't do her justice, because she's been placed an awful lot, and I wouldn't be surprised if she did manage to book her place in next week's final. Trap 2 is Skylight Max for the Skylight Syndicate in Dungarvan. She's a daughter of Droopy's Jet and Jamila Rose, and she's trained by Nicholas Walsh, a winner of 4 from her 17 starts. 3 is Jumpy John for Elizabeth Sives in Feather, the 2-time winner from 6 starts, particularly impressive at Clonmel on his most recent start. He's a son of Sonic, we all remember him. 4 is Cameo Capo for David Firmager, trained by Adam Dunford, a winner of 1 from his 2 starts. Possibly the Greyhound to beat here if his recent yawl run is anything to go by. 5 is Zoomy Blaze for Daniel Gibson and Stan Bowles, trained by Morris Organ, a 5-time winner from 19 starts, one of 2 middle seeds in this second race. And the remaining Greyhound, the final Greyhound in our second race, is Nodjo's Pet for Dennis Morrissey in Cullen, a daughter of Droopy Sydney and Blast Off Fizz. She's 2 from 9 so far, but she has been placed a further 4 times, and she's another who most definitely could book her place in next week's final. Before we go to Joe, we're going to have a rerun or a recap of our 3 to follow. The Skylight Max Greyhound in Trap 2 is the first we'll concentrate on. As we said, she's a daughter of Droopy's Jet. She's been in pretty good form. She's won her last 3 races all at yawl. We saw her in the opening race here at Shelbourne. You can't beat a Greyhound in form. Makes her Clonmel debut, but if she takes the Clonmel, she has got a big chance. In 3 is Jumpy John for Elizabeth Sives, a 2-time winner from 6 starts. Both wins have come at Clonmel, and Jumpy John could be the likely leader, which could be a big advantage here. And the last of the Greyhounds is most likely the favourite on the Barking Buzz app, and that's Romeo Capo for David Firmager. didn't win on his opening start at Yule when he was a big eye catcher in defeat, but he was very impressive when he managed to clock 29.23 at Yule on his second start. This lad flies from halfway, and if he's close at the second bend, it's probably safe to say he is the one to beat. But maybe not. Maybe Joe might have a different view in our second race. Joe, it's the second semi-final of this. Run Happy at stud 83525. Let's try and nail this second race.
Yeah, Rob, you were saying you were jealous of Ian in the commentary box there. Well, I, for one, I'm delighted to be listening and talking to you rather than talking to Fortune after the grueling he gave me over the last number of weeks in Limerick. And I tell you, when Ian is sitting down in that chair, you know, he might look a small bit more slimmer when he's standing up. It's another great race to look forward to here in Clonmel. Of course, we must mention Ned Morrissey, of course, the sponsor for this Run Happy at Stud. I am going for Romeo Capo here, of course, owned by a great supporter of the game, David Firmager, and trained, of course, by young Adam Dumford. Y'all form stands up anywhere in the world, and this fella won in 29.23 on Monday just gone, sure to improve from that. Sporting Rita, of course, for the powerful owner-trainer combination of Michael Rowe and Jerry Griffin, of course, who had Sporting Pat in the TV Trophy final in Monmore, has a very big chance. A 28.62 winner in Tralee, so that's a very nice piece of form coming into this A3 race. And the other dog with Y'all Farm, Skylight Max, track number 2, who won in 29.24 there recently as well. It's a very, very wide open race. If I had to pick one, probably go for Romeo Capo. Zoomly Blaze from Morris Organ definitely has a big chance as well. But it's a very, very open race, and we're going to hand it over to Eddie for the commentary.
Bell goes for a second semi-final of the Run Happy at Stud A. 3 and 1 Sporting Rita, 2 Skylight Max, 3 Jumpy John, 4 Romeo Capo, 5 Zoomy Blaze, 6 Nod Goes Pet. Here's behind traps. And they're off and racing, and trap 6 comes away in front and shows them 3 talented strongly in the middle along with 4, and it's going to be tight at the bend. 3 drives on and goes clear. That's Jumpy John, leads into the back straight now by 5 or 6 lengths. This race already looks over. 1 is moved into second and 6 third. At the pass halfway and with a split of 16.34, it's trap 3 Jumpy John, who holds a healthy advantage of 5 lengths over trap 1 Sporting Reed in second. They're clear of trap 2 and third, but as the race up to the judge, it's trap 3 Jumpy John going to win this for Elizabeth Sives. 1 stays on well for second and 4 third. 3 1 and 4 for your trio. The winning time 28.97.
Yeah, really good winning time, and once again, early pace was the key. As we said, Jumpy John was the most likely leader, and from Trap Rise, the one thing we knew was that he was going to lead at the bend. Whether he was going to get around in front was another thing. It was fairly level early hours, but this is where he just shows his early pace to get round in front. And Romeo Capo, when he was beside him going into the opening bend, it looked as though he had a big chance, but there was plenty of traffic problems around those opening 2 bends, and that's where Romeo Capo lost his chance. But he would have had to be up to his A game to catch his Jumpy John, because as you see at the third bend, he's got an unassailable advantage. Sporting Rita at this stage is the one who's trying to close the gap all the time, and in fairness to her, she has, and she's closing with every stride. But in the end, it was Jumpy John's early pace and his bravery around those opening 2 bends which was decisive. But it's probably safe to say that next week in the final, if Sporting Rita can get a clear run, there's no doubt she's got a big chance. And Joe, given your association with the Sporting team, you are probably rooting for Rita down the back straight. She's run a really good race in defeat.
Yeah, she ran a fantastic race, really. She really made up an awful lot of ground, and wasn't a million miles from getting there in the end. But of course, all credit to trap number 3, Jumpy John. Had that bit of Clonmel form. The win last time out 29.11, and of course track experience definitely stood to him. He had a 2.89 split done previous, and that bit of early pace is going to see him go an awful long way in the final. Sporting as you say, ran a magnificent race, and definitely one to note is definitely Romeo Capo, trained of course by Adam Dumford and owned of course by David Firmager, great supporter of the game. Ran on with real credit to finish third. It's going to be a very, very wide open final. We see our winner Clonmel PC winning in 28.70 in the last race. Perhaps things might change next week. He mightn't get it all his own way in front, especially with the likes of Jumpy John showing that early pace. But it's a very, very wide open final, and it's the 8-3 5-5 final was definitely one massively to look forward to, and I'm really looking forward to that next week.
Absolutely, thanks Joe. Yeah, it's all about, for many, the produce stakes at Clonmel this evening, and we've got the first semi-final in race 4, and then the second semi-final is a little bit later. So Ian, that's where I'm going to take you back in. We're going to be picking your brain a lot tonight because obviously the English Greyhound Derby starts next Thursday and the draw for the first round heats of that was done a little bit earlier. But we're down to 12 in the Larry O'Rourke Produce Stakes of 2021. Won last year by the subsequent Derby champion. Of the 12 remaining, if you haven't had a bet, what would you back right now in the outright betting?
Problem is I've seen the outright betting, so I know Explosive Boy is favoured to win it. I thought of the prices that were available, the best, the one that represented probably a bit of value still was Deadly Destroyer. I think he'll be in the final. I think he's about 5 or 6 to 1. I think that's about right. He did 28-25 in the opening round. He's a dog that has pace everywhere. I think he is a real 550-yard dog at Shelbourne Park, but just given the fact that Good Cody and Explosive Boy have been that bit more found in the market, I'd side with Deadly Destroyer. I really do like Viper's Buzz. I think he's a dog for 550 yards at Shelbourne Park also. Very strong indeed. But, you do need early speed around Clonmel. It's hard to see past Explosive Boy and Good Cody the way they ran last week. But just at the price is Deadly Destroyer for me.
Agent Stanley, obviously, for Skip, he's looking to book his place in another final. It'll be a fair feat if he can do that tonight.
It'd be a great achievement. I actually think he ran Clonmel very, very well in the opening round. Obviously, last week it was a very, very different proposition. It was a messy type of affair. He actually ran well to qualify from where he was, but he'll need to be on his toes early. But have no doubt, he's a very consistent starter and clearly one that can play a big part in proceedings. Shelburne Park, they're on parade for the second round heat of the Sporting Press online edition Irish Oaks. 1, Razzle Dazzle Maya. 4, Niels O'Connell and Michael Delaney. Adora of Makeshift and Razzle Dazzle Prue. Rarely runs a bad race. She's well housed on the fence. 2 is Tullivan Beyonce for James Sheahan, a daughter of Good News and Tullivan Fire. She's won 6 of her 16. Nothing wrong with the strike rate. 3, Clona Mist for Tommy Caffrey, a daughter of Skywalker Puma and Springwell Watsy. She's won 4 of her 19 outings. Next in 4, the superstar that is Billy's Diva for Maria and John Kennedy, a daughter of Good News and JT Sahara. She is stunning pace. 5 is Miss Minnie Mall. Tommy O'Donovan owns and trains this daughter of Law Hill Blake and Miss Minnie Marvel. She stayed on strongly in defeat last week. She can go up better. 6 is Swanley Chick, a finalist last year. Showed signs of return right to her very best last week in defeat. Trained by Jamie McGee for John Edwards, a daughter of Law Hill Blake and Kalinin Baby. Well housed as a sole-wide seed. And certainly a player, especially if Billy's Diva makes any mistakes. But it is Billy's Diva, the one they all have to beat.
Yeah, they all have to beat, and no surprise that she is the first greyhound that we're going to concentrate in our 3 to follow Billy's Diva in Trap 4. She's danced every dance pretty much the last 6 months. She got to the Easter Cup final, she got to the Shelburne 600 final, second in the National Puppy at the end of last year. Very impressive last week, and if she can hit the lids tonight, not only is she most likely to win, but she's likely to rattle the 28-second barrier. So that's Billy's Diva, the hot favourite on Barkin Buzz. Next we're going to have a look at is Trap 5, Miss Minnie Mall, the latest of our runners tonight who got to the Limerick Oaks final. She'd no one looking running last week when she finished 4th. She did well to qualify. Is the draw a worry? But if she gets a clear run, she's got a big chance of making it to the quarter-finals. And the last of the greyhounds, and possibly the main danger to Billy's Diva, is Swanley Chick in Trap 6. She's the sole wide seat. Good run last week behind Scooby's Princess. She's got some very, very good runs here at Shelbourne Park. And as we said, the fact that she is the sole wide seat, she just might have luck in running early on. And if she does, well, there's no doubt she could push Billy's Diva all the way. But it's the second of our second round heats of the Sporting Press Online edition Irish Oaks. Ian, we must mention Razzle Dazzle Maya, Tullivan Beyonce and Clona Mist. If we were to have a shock in this upcoming race, where might it come from?
I don't think it'd be a particularly big shock if Beyonce won. Tullivan Beyonce, she has a 28.40 on her card around Limerick. She actually ran well in defeat last week behind Clona Sky. Obviously Billy's Diva is very, very hard to beat in this contest, but Tullivan Beyonce could certainly run well. She did so last week, but I'd expect Billy's Diva, without a bit of bad luck, to come home well clear. And as I said, track conditions perhaps not quite as conducive to fast times as we'd like. Just perhaps a little bit loose on top of the ground there around the opening 2 bends in the last start. So hopefully she can get her toe in and get loose, Billy's Diva, because we want to see her at her best. She got knocked out of the early rounds of the Sporting Press Irish Oaks last year. Hopefully this year she'll go a bit further. Yeah, no doubt the Kennedys will most definitely agree. Just a reminder again, if you fancy a flutter on tonight's action, if just for a little bit of fun, the Barkin Buzz app is the way to go. You sign up, it's fairly straightforward, and for the rest of the night you can enjoy yourself. And I can tell you, the trio in the previous race here at Shelbourne Park, not only would it pay for many a stream, but it would most definitely pay for a night out when the pubs and restaurants open. The forecast and trios are the way to go, and remember, as we've always said, you can win big for small stakes, but the Barkin Buzz app, if you do want to add to your enjoyment
enjoyment tonight, that is most definitely the way to go. As you can see, Greyhounds are being put in traps for the second of our Sporting Press Irish Oaks heats. Ian, over to you.
Yeah, thanks, Rob. All in. This is the second heat of the second round of the Sporting Press Online edition. Irish Oaks 1, Razzle Dazzle Maya. 2 is Sullivan Beyonce. 3, Clona Mist. 4, Billy's Diva. 5, Miss Minnie Mall. And out in 6 is Swanley Chick. Here, up behind traps. Racing, good start by one up the inside. Razzle Dazzle Maya. 4, Billy's Diva did charge trap slightly again this week, but she hits the front into the bend, and that should be that. She's got on by 3.5, 4 lengths into the back. Now 6, Swanley Chick showing her pace to challenge for second. Then comes 1, Razzle Dazzle Maya. Further gap to 5, Miss Minnie Mall, but 4, Billy's Diva remains clear around the bottom 2 bends. 6 in second, Swanley Chick. Then comes 1, Razzle Dazzle Maya. Little change in order now. It's 4, Billy's Diva galloping on to a fine success. Second was 6, Swanley Chick. Razzle Dazzle Maya third. The winning time 28-18. A fine display by Billy's Diva.
A fine display by Billy's Diva, and she's clocked 28.18, one of the fastest times of the competition so far, if not up there with the fastest. And as Ian said, from Trap Rise, this was all over. She missed it last week, but she was much better tonight, and once she led around the opening 2 bends, it was only a matter of how far, and as you can see, she's kicking on from the second bend. Remember, she got to the final of the Shelbourne 600, so we know she ticks every single box, and she's absolutely flying to that third bend. In fairness, Swanley Chick, we did say if there was a danger to Billy's Diva, Swanley's Chick with it. And Razzle Dazzle Maya, in fairness, in her 42nd race has run a blinder to finish third. Thought for one stage we were going to click with the trio with Minnie Mall, but we'll have to do with the forecast. But that was brilliant. The sectional of 16.06 to the third bend. Ian, we were waiting for something explosive, and Billy's Diva has just given it.
Yeah, absolutely. She charged traps last week. She actually charged traps again tonight. 3, Clona Mist went. The 2 of them sort of just nodded, but in the end, Billy's Diva did come away again on second go and shown great early speed to lead around that opening corner. Once she goes to the front, well, there's no stopping her. As you mentioned, she was a finalist in the 600. She was also, of course, one of the favourites for the Ladbrokes Easter Cup decider. So she's a class act. She has stunning pace, and, you know, tonight, once she hit the front, she was never going to be stopped. It's worth remembering, she went faster on her racing debut all those months ago, but she's something special. I think there's still a 27.90 running her card in this Oaks. If she hits the lid some night, she'll make them all run.
Yeah, she makes them all run. In fairness to her, most nights she lines up. Right, the action coming thick and fast because we're heading straight to Clonmel. They've actually just finished parading at Clonmel. We've an open sprint at Clonmel and we've an open sprint at Shelburne Park. That's how good the action is tonight. And we've got this upcoming open sprint. It's in memory of Sorley O'Dornan. I know Joe's going to have a little bit of a chat about Sorley and his connection with Clonmel in due course. But we're going to have our 3 to follow, and then we're going to get straight across to Joe. And the most likely one to beat here is Ballinakiljet in Trap 1 for Larry Dunn, trained by Graham Holland. 6 wins from 18 starts. Second to Deadly Big Show last week. If you can finish second to Deadly Big Show, you've got a pretty good greyhound, and it's clocked 18.51 in here at Shelburne. If Ballinakiljet hits the lids, it's surely going to be a case of how far. Second that we're going to focus on is Trap 2 Showman 8 for Patrick O'Connell, trained by Chris Hoolan, a 13-time winner from 22 starts, so he's most definitely been playing his way. He was third in the Cork Super Sprint, third in the Clona Blaze at Stud over 5.25 to Skywalker Barry, and he's got winning form at Clonmel as well, which is a big help. And the last we're going to concentrate on is Arigel Biag for Orla Kirwan, the only female in the lineup. She's 1-2 from 11 starts. She's got a really good run at Clonmel for the 300, 16.29. She does step up in grade, but it'll be interesting to see how she fares here, especially if she does hit the lid. So it's an open sprint coming up at Clonmel, Joe, and it's named in memory of Sorla O'Dornan, who, for many people in Clonmel, is dearly missed.
Yeah, Sorley O'Dornan, of course, he was a wonderful part of the furniture here in Clonmel for many, many years. And you hear nothing but very good and kind things said about Sorley. He was in charge of all the trials. He was welcoming people at the gate. Always had a very warm smile on his face. And it's nice to have a memory in his honour, and his legacy lives on. He was a wonderful part of the track here, and he is dearly, dearly missed. And we'd like to pay respect to his family, his wife Maria, and all his wide circle of friends and family as we think of him and his memory and his legacy living on. And it's a fantastic race in his honour, of course, in correlation with the friends of Clonmel track. As you said, Ballinakiljet, what a fantastic sprinter he is, of course, related to Borna Gem, his granddam Borna Gem, and that Borna Gem line is so strong, one of the most fantastic dam lines probably in the world of greyhound racing, as we see with Stone Park Leo winning the Conan and Kirby as well, being another grandson of Barna Jim. Shelbourne Nate, of course, for Chris Hoolan, of course. 28-23 on his clock for the 5-5. That just shows you the class of Greyhound. This is a very, very shrewd owner-trainer combination, very, very consistent. He was third down in the Super Sprint in Cork, and we also have Super Sprint farm down in the farm of Mill Road Knight. 23 runs, 11 wins, so that's a massive, massive strike rate there as well, of course, trained by the very shrewd Michael Donnelly. He's won 6 races already this year, so this is a dog in massive form. As you say, Balnakill Jet hits the lids, could be over. If he comes out as he can come out, and as you say, that 18:51 run in Shelburne earlier on this year was just absolutely phenomenal. But there's going to be a lot of greyhounds in behind him vying for the win of this race as well. Rocket to the third for Carl Ransbottom, of course, a very, very shrewd trainer as well from Timahoe and Leash. Well, a very aptly named Rocket to the third. Absolute flies from traps as a 28.50 and 28.57 win on his card around Shelburne Park as well. But I'm probably going to go for Balnakill Chet, for Larry Dunn, of course, and Graham Holland. Larry Dunn, if you remember, won the Irish Greyhound Derby in 2013 with Slippery Robert. He's a great supporter of the game, so nice to see him with a fantastic greyhound in action. I'm going to go for Balnakill Jet, to be followed home by Mill Road Knight, and 2 back in third. Argyll Biog as well for James Frisbee. Has a bit of track form as well, so definitely one to consider as well, but we're going to go for trap 1 for the win. Over to Eddie for the commentary.
Thanks for that, Joe. As you can see, they are loading, and no doubt if anybody's doing a trio or a forecast on the Bark and Buzz app, you'll most definitely have Balnakill Jet in there, and most likely as your win selection. So they are loading. Just to let you know, after this race, the next at Clonmel is the first of the big ones. It's the opening semi-final of the Larry O'Rourke Produce Stakes, and well, we've got 12 top-class youngsters going to traps for those 2 semi-finals. And by the way, Joe will be bringing us the draw for the final later in the programme, so do hang on for that, and we'll hope to get the quarter-final draw of the Sporting Press online edition Irish Oaks. What a programme we've still to come. Straight over to Eddie.
The bell goes for a Sarley O'Dornan Memorial. In trap 1, Balnakill Jet, 2 Shelbourne 8, 3 Argyll Biog, 4 Rocket to the third, 5 Strides, Billabong 6, Mill Road Knight. Here's behind traps. And away they go, and is a very close in the early stage with trap 5 now showing in front, joined by trap 2, so it Strides, Billabong and Shelbourne 8, and it's Shelbourne 8 who goes clear into the bend, a bit of trouble in behind, and it's trap 3 now, second and 1/3. Entering the home straight is trap 2, Shelbourne 8, who stretches clear up the home straight, going to win this from 1 and 2nd and 3 and 3rd. 2, 1 and 3 for your trio. The winning time is a very smart 17:19.
Yeah, 7:19, very, very smart indeed. And we did say that Shelbourne 8 was most definitely one for the shortlist. Third in the Super Sprint in Cork, and obviously was third in the Clonmel Blaze at Stud. And we did say if it was a case that Balnakill Jet was slowly into stride, it was maybe going to be a case of Shelbourne 8 picking up the pieces. I think even if Balnakill Jet had hit the lids, he would have needed to be on his A game to win that, because Shelbourne 8 was foot perfect, and to clock a winning time of 17:19. Remember, that's for the 3:25 in Clonmel. That takes serious doing, and well done to all of them. Hopefully all greyhounds are okay after minor traffic problems in the third race at Clonmel. Okay, the action coming thick and fast, but Ian Fortune, I'm going to bring in you because, as we said, we're going to pick your brain as much as we can right throughout the night. The English Greyhound Derby, it's on the top of all of our minds. The first round draw was made a little bit earlier, I think about 4 o'clock on Racing Post Greyhound TV. 41 Irish Greyhounds in the pot. How did they fare in that first round draw?
Relatively okay. There's not too many headaches and too much to worry about. The defending champion Dearjet Sydney has a big dog on his inside that probably will seek the middle. He's in trap 2, Dearjet Sydney, but knowing his fast starting ways, if he does hit the lids, he'll be well enough covered. The majority are reasonably well housed. There's not too many big clashes of the Irish. I think the most Irish in any particular heat is 3, so we have no heats where we're guaranteed to have an elimination, shall we say. So I'd be pretty confident that we'll certainly get over 30 qualifying to the second round, and that'd be a great base. 30, 31, 32 out of 96 would be a great standing. We already have probably 15 in the top 20, 25 in the betting, so we're in a very strong position, top 6 in the market, and let's hope that we're going to make it 3 in the bounce for the Irish at Toaster in July. That'd be great. Meanwhile, here at Shelbourne Park, runners now on parade for Heat 3 of the Sporting Press Online Edition Irish Oaks. First up, we're going to see in red Clonmel Sky for Kevin O'Brien, Graham Holland, a daughter of Law Hill Blake and Coolavani Pearl. Good winner last week. Next in Trap 3, Battle Cry, because 2 is a non-runner. Battle Cry owned by Patricia McGrath of Paul Hennessy, a powerful lady, daughter Sparta Maestro and Brinkley Stella. 4, Ballygloss Mel for Brian Kelly and Luke Kelly, daughter of Good News and Bogger Bonnie. 5 is Highview Lemon, Jerry Merriman for Paddy Merriman, a daughter of JT Jet and Highview Daisy. And out in 6 is Old Fort Locket for Tony Teague, a daughter of Kinloch Bray and String of Pearls. Actually caught the eye in defeat last week, beaten 9 lengths but still caught the eye. It's Heat 3 of the Sporting Press Online Edition Irish Oaks. Just the 5 of them. They're on the way to traps. The likely one to beat, Trap 1, Clonmel Sky.
Yeah, absolutely, Ian. And Clonmel Sky is the first of our greyhounds in the 3 to follow, because, of course, she is the Cork Oaks winner, and she got back to her best last week when winning here in 28.36. In fairness, she probably hasn't hit the heights that we've expected since she won the Cork Oaks, but she did get to the semi-finals of the Limerick Oaks, and she's in Trap 1 like she was last week. So, as Ian said, she is most definitely the one to beat. Next up is Trap 3, Battle Cry. Paul Hennessy, he hasn't got too many runners here tonight at Shelburne. He's concentrating on Toaster for the coming weeks, but he's got Battle Cry here, who's not without her chance. She's a very versatile sort. She's done 28.06 here at Shelbourne. She's run over 750 yards. If she gets back to her best tonight, she could give Clonmel Sky plenty to think about. And the last we're going to concentrate on is Trap 5, Highview Lemon for the Merrymans in Croghan County Offaly. They're bidding to get their second greyhound through to next week's quarter-finals, and she's got a fairly good chance. She's a 3-time winner from 11 starts. She done well to qualify last week after some traffic problems. Yeah, she is slightly stepping up on grade on what she's done previously heading into this classic, but a clear run. And if you're getting involved in the forecast or the trio on the Barking Buzz app, she just might be one at a price to go well. That's Highview Lemon in Trap 5. We have a couple of minutes until we're probably going to Trap Scene, so let's get back to the English Greyhound Derby. I suppose before we're going to pick your brain, we're going to get maybe 4 that you fancy for the outright honours given your anti-post record. But let's quickly touch on last Tuesday night and Ballymac Ariel. Great to see her back, because I know a couple of people had a few question marks over what we saw of her down in Limerick.
Yeah, she's been a bit, I've been number one fan, have no doubt about that, but she's been disappointing this year. She's had a couple of little niggles. Liam is confident enough now that he has her back right, and the trial the other night would suggest that she is back to herself. She broke fast, which is something she hasn't done in quite some time here in Ireland, and she absolutely moved with great fluency and real purpose. 29.11 in a trial session is pretty special. It's the fastest trial we've seen at Toaster this year. It would have equalled the record of Price's Jet. That's since been broken by Warzone Tom, but it was worth pointing out that Warzone Tom did it at the end of a night when the track has been plated, and the record, the way things have been going at Toaster, the track has got faster and faster as evenings have gone on. So for Ballymac Ariel to do it in a trial session when nothing else got close to it, that's pretty special. It's clear that she's a very, very special lady with stunning speed, and I'd gladly have her in my team, especially if I was confident she'd remain sound over the next 5-6 weeks, because she's as fast as any dog on the planet.
Okay, they haven't been called to traps yet at Shelburne, so let's start your 4. They don't necessarily have to be in preferential order, but give us your first greyhound that, if you haven't backed already for the English Greyhound Derby, that you're going to back between now and Thursday.
I'll be honest, I've been nibbling away for about 6 months at big prices, so I'm in a decent enough position. The first dog I did back was Native Maestro, however. Native Maestro is a dog that really came to prominence last year in the Kingdom Derby down at Tralee, showed some real promise, some real ability, has since transferred to Graham Holland, has shown plenty this year, ran a fine race in the final of the Select Stakes behind Skywalker Barry. I think he'll be suited to Toaster. He's already won a trial stake around there. He's the first of the dogs I'll be nominating. He's probably found in the market at this stage, but there's a strong suggestion or a strong line of thought. He should probably be a shorter price than his kennel companion New In Session, who's disputing favouritism in a lot of places. I would have him ahead of New In Session, purely because I think he's more consistent and more likely to go up fast every night, whereas Session has a habit of throwing in a bad run.
It's for that native Maestro. Not necessarily your number one pick in order, but one of your four. And at the end of the four, we're going to ask you what will win the English Greyhound Derby. So if you are tuning in, the best is most definitely still to come. Okay, as you can see, pictures back here at Shelbourne from the track, and they've been called to traps now for our fourth race. It's the third of the second round heats at the Sporting Press Online edition Irish Oaks. Remember, trap 2 Ballycount Lexi doesn't run, so we're into the 5 Greyhound territory. It'll be the same in the next race. And remember, if you're getting involved in the forecast or the 3 on the Bark and Buzz app, you've now a better chance of clicking because there's one less runner to beat. So loading underway, race 4 here at Shelbourne. Back to you, Ian.
Yeah, thanks, Robert. As you can see, the runners in traps now for this third heat of the Sporting Press Online edition Irish Oaks. Already a couple of fine displays in the locker. There is the bell. This is Heat 3 of the Sporting Press Online edition Irish Oaks. 1 Clonmel Sky, 3 Battle Cry, 4 Ballygloss 5 Highview Lemon, and 6 is Old Fort Lockett. The hare coming up behind traps. Racing, good start by trap 3 in the middle. Battle Cry and 6 Old Fort Lockett. 1 Clonmel Sky missed the kick but races up the inside and takes control from 3 Battle Cry. 4 was in the spot of bother Ballygloss but it's out front. 1 Clonmel Sky that's gone on by 5-6 lengths to 3 Battle Cry, who will be finishing well. Then comes 5 Highview Lemon, but Clonmel Sky 16.22 to that third bend. Not surprising after a slow start, but she leads off the final turn. 3 Battle Cry is bridging the gap but too late. 1 Clonmel Sky a good winner, 3 Battle Cry second, and 5 Highview Lemon third. The winning time 28.65.
Yeah, 28.65, a fairly good run any night of the week, but to do it after a slow break, as you saw and heard in commentary, Wadeen took some doing. She just completely mixed the kick, but it just shows, it's testament to her early speed that she could still manage to lead around the opening 2 bends, and obviously she had room to get up on the inside, but she needed the pace to do it, and she's done that. Halfway down the back, she's 6 lengths clear of Battle Cry and Highview Lemon, which takes some doing, and she never really looked in trouble once hitting the front. As Ian said, Battle Cry, we know she stays 7.50, and she has closed the gap a little bit in the closing stages, but she was never getting to the winner. And Highview Lemon for the Merrimans, they'll have 2 in the draw for the quarter-final action next week, and we've managed to click our first trio of the night as well, so if you did listen, hopefully that'll pay well on the Bark and Buzz app. But Ian, we were expecting Clonmel Sky to win, but after the slow and sturdy break, what were you thinking?
I thought she was in trouble after about 3 strides, but then it just started to get a bit congested on the outside. There was not massive early speed in the contest, so once she had the room up the fence, she was always going to get a chance, and she made full use of it. She barged her way through. She quickly shot 4 or 5 lengths clear. Battle Cry did look a little bit wobbly on the bend after taking the bump, and it took her a while to get her momentum going again. She's probably not the performer she once was. She's approaching her 4th birthday, but Trapwood Clonmel Sky did it well. It's not an Oaks winning type performance. She'll certainly need to improve her trapping in future weeks, but she came through to win well for Kevin O'Brien and Graham Holland. Kevin, a good supporter of the sport. It's great to see him having a runner in the 3rd round of the Oaks, and best of luck to him. But his performer Clonmel Sky will certainly need to improve her trapping if she is to make waves in the coming weeks.
Yeah, most definitely. They're just about to come on parade in Clonmel. We'll just quickly nab you for the winner of the opening semi-final. Is it going to be Explosive Boy or somewhere else?
Apologies. Explosive Boy, if he hits the lids, will probably take all the stopping. The draw's not ideal. Don't get me wrong. If he misses the kick or something, Nitro Hero can certainly go up well. That's what he did the last night, and he stacked them up through the race. But Explosive Boy is no question a very fast greyhound. Vallegro is a greyhound that will really revel when he gets to Shelburne Park, 550 yards, 575 yards. He's exceptionally fast. Good Cody. Took off last week, and Vallegro's beaten the length. It was a stunning run. Just wonder, what would have happened if he had made that assignment in the Kirby. Would he have gone on to the final and produce something special? But we'll never know. As it happens, I'm glad he's still in the Produce Stakes, and I hope he makes the final, because for Paul and Morris Heffernan to lose out in the chance of going to a Kirby final with them in the circumstances they did with car trouble, well, you can't really subscribe to that. Meanwhile, I see they're on parade.
Yeah, when your luck's out, it's most definitely out. As you said, let's hope they can make up for it tonight. Sorry for catching you by surprise, Ian. Right, we're on parade for our opening semi-final of the Larry O'Rourke National Produce Stakes, and the first on parade is Nitro Hero for the Pickard Syndicate, trained by Graham Holland, one of the quarter-final winners last week in 29-21. will need to improve on that run if he's to win, if not qualify. Second in is the Packle Oil Train Explosive Boy. We all know how good he is from his Limerick runs. He's as fast a youngster as there is in the country. 28.38 last week, 28.15 and 28.08 in Limerick. If he hits the lids, they're probably all run for second place. Vallegro's third for Paula Heffernan and Maris Heffernan, a 5-time winner from 15 starts. Got to the semis of the Kirby, but obviously didn't take his chance. We know why that. 4 is Court MacChief for the Billy John Syndicate, trained by John Linehan. We all know John's well capable of winning big competitions. A 1-time winner from 9 starts. 5 is Riverside Chester, Graham Holland's second runner in the semi-final. A 4-time winner from 13 starts. Has yet to win in the Produce Stakes, but wouldn't be the biggest surprise in the world if he managed to qualify for the final. And in 6, the only middle seat is Zoom, the aptly named Zoom given the last 18 months we've had, for the Club of Champions Syndicate, trained by Mert Lahey, a 4-time winner from 19 starts. Has finished second the last twice, but that probably doesn't do him justice because he's run really well in defeat on both occasions. Before we go to Joe, we're going to get our 3 to follow, no doubt about it. We're going to start with Explosive Boy. His form tells you everything you need to know about the son of good news. A 9-time winner from 16 starts. When he hits it, he's nearly unbeatable. If he hits it tonight, he'll win. If he doesn't, we'll have to wait and see. But he is the one to beat. Trap 3 is Vallegro, a 5-time winner from 15 starts. A son of Ballymac, a winner in the first round. Finished second to Good Cody last year. We all know how out of luck connections were that he didn't get to take his chance in the Kirby semi-final. He deserves to qualify on what happened that night alone. And if he breaks, as Ian said, he has got a massive chance. And the last of the Greyhounds in our 3 to follow is Zoom for Mert Lahey and the Club of Champions Syndicate. A 4-time winner from 9 starts, as we said. He hasn't won in the last couple of starts, but he's run blinders on both occasions, and he's some really good runs in Tralee. The draw might be in his favour as well. If there is a little bit of traffic problems inside him, Zoom might get the run of this race, and don't be surprised if he manages to qualify. And if you're doing a trio in the Bark and Buzz, make sure you put Zoom in. But Joe, they've gone straight to traps. Let's quickly get your selection.
Yeah, I've been really, really looking forward to this semi-final of this year's Produce Stakes. It's a magnificent race. Look at Trap 6 Zoom, massive early pace, and of course members of that syndicate tuning in from all over the world. Elaine Dunphy, Gavin O'Mahony and Brian Fitz tuning in from London. Best of luck to that syndicate. There's a few other syndicates in the race as well. The Pig Iron Syndicate, who send Nitro Hero out of Trap 1, as Ian Fortune alluded to, can go up very, very fast, has some lovely early pace. Well, you were saying, Rob, about Explosive Boy, if he comes out it's all over. I'm not so sure. I think Vallegro stays so strong that he could be well in the mix, even if Explosive Boy leads to the bend. It's so hard to call, but if I had to pick one, maybe Explosive Boy. We're heading to Eddie for the commentary.
Well, goes for the first semi-final of the Produce Stakes. In 1, Nitro Hero. 2, Explosive Boy. 3, Vallegro. 4, Court MacChief. 5, Riverside Chester. 6, Zoom. Here's behind traps. And they're racing. It's a fairly level start with Trap 4 surprisingly showing in front from 1 on the inside and 2 next. As they go to the corner, it's going to be tight. There's a bit of bumping and shoving. 1 runs off the corner and loses ground, and it's Trap 2 who leads into the back. Explosive Boy leads now by 4 or 5 lengths from 4 who moves second, 3 third and 1 fourth. Into the third bend they go with a split of 16-11. It's Trap 2. Explosive Boy who's set safe for home. Trap 4 is second. That's Court MacChief, and Trap 3 is third. But as the race up to the judge, it's Trap 2 who wins nicely. 3 gets up for second and 4 third. 2, 3 and 4 for your trio. The winning time 28.58.
Yeah, 28.58. We did say if Explosive Boy came out he'd win. He didn't come out tonight at all, and there's no doubt about it. He's picked up the pieces after plenty of traffic problems around the opening 2 bends. We'll probably get a replay from the third bend, which we can see. And at this stage, Explosive Boy is a long way clear. Generally, when he hits the lids, he's a long way clear, but it was a completely different scenario tonight. And, well, luck was on his side, and he's run out a very comprehensive winner. But obviously, that only tells half the story. If he is to win next week's final, he'll need to break an awful lot better. Vallegro, Joe mentioned him. He was involved in that traffic problems. I think all 6 Greyhounds were probably involved in the traffic problems at some stage. So Vallegro has done wonders to qualify, and the John Lenihan trained Court MacChief is the third of our qualifiers. Done really well, and on only its 10th start. But Joe, it wasn't a race we were expecting. We might have been expecting the result, but if someone had said Explosive Boy was going to win by 8 or 10 lengths, we would have presumed he would have hit the lids, which he didn't.
Yeah, it didn't hit the lids, but you know what? It shows the class of this Explosive Boy. And I mean, this is one of the fastest greyhounds on the planet. 28.08 run around Limerick. He's just a phenomenal greyhound, and he showed real heart there. People have questioned his heart before when but this is a greyhound with massive heart and massive class, and has to be probably justifiable favourite for this year's Produce Stakes. As you said, Vallegro was involved in a bit of congestion as well, but ran on so well, and Ian alluded to it there as well for the Hefferans. What happened to him on the way down to Limerick was just heartbreaking, and look, no one would begrudge their dog to go all the way in this year's Produce Stakes. He's a fantastic greyhound, and he's really improving week in, week out. He's getting better and better, and as you said, the Johnny Lenihan trained Court Mark Chiefel, when any greyhound runs for Johnny Lenihan, it's sure to be thereabouts. Showed a nice bit of early, and that one takes its place in the final as well. Hard luck to Nitro Hero, Zoom and Riverside Chester as well, but explosive boy, very impressive.
Thanks, Joe. 5 greyhounds on parade for the next at Shelbourne, Ian.
Yeah, indeed, Rob. The runners parading for Heat 4 of the Sporting Press Online Edition Irish Oaks, and 2 Highview Secure as 1 is vacant. Highview Secure for Paddy Merriman, Jerry Merriman, a daughter of Storm Control, and Highview Idol seems to be coming back right to her very best form. 3 Paradise Asia for Sean Mead, a daughter of Dubby's Nige and Alexandra, winning form over further. Beaten 6 lengths last week, but did show pace in defeat. 4 is Ballymacbeanie, the defending champion, bidding to become just the 3rd bitch in history to regain her Oaks title, owned by Ciara Varriker. This is a daughter of Ballymac Matt Coulivanny Pet. She has it all. 5 is Ballymac Juliet for Liam Dowling, a daughter of Vulturian. Ballymac Breeze stayed on strongly in defeat last time. She can go up better. And out in 6, Right So Bell, well housed in the stripes for Sean Corrigan, a daughter of Law Hill Blake and Nostalgia, ideally drawn, and she was behind Ballymacbeanie last week, but she'll be looking to finish a bit closer tonight. She can go up fast again on the outside. A cracking heat, but of course Ballymacbeanie, the defending champion, will be very hard to stop.
Yeah, very hard to stop indeed. And like the previous heat, 5 greyhounds going to traps for the latest of our Sporting Press Online Edition Irish Oaks. Our 3 to follow is going to start with trap 2, Highview Secure. The Merrimans, what a night they've had. 2 greyhounds already into the quarter-final draw of the Irish Oaks, and they've got Highview Secure here. She might be the likely leader. She made all in 28.65 last week. She's a youngster on the upgrade. She's 4 from 11, and with no corner house lady inside, she might be able to get round in front. Then we come on to Ballymacbeanie. As Ian said, there's not much left to say about this daughter of Ballymacmat. She's the defending champion. First run back this year, 28.23 last year. She's done 28.02, 28.04. If she hits the lids, as Ian said at the start of the programme, the 28 seconds better watch out. And then we come to trap 6, Right So Bell for Sean Corrigan and Aoife Corrigan. She's been a remarkable bitch. She's got the semi-finals of 4 major bitch competitions in the last 12 months. She's due to get to a final. She ran a little bit flat last week, but connections are hoping that she might bounce back. She's the apple of Aoife Corrigan's eye, and if she hits it, she's well capable of leading. As we said, she's so consistent, and she could very well find her place in another quarter-final of a major competition, of course, as well as getting this plenty of semi-finals. She's got to plenty of quarter-finals as well. So again, we click with the trio in the previous race, and if you logged on to Bark and Buzz and followed us, well, don't be afraid to do it again, because remember, it's the real way. It's the only way if you want to make it pay to watch the stream. The stream obviously is great value anyway, but it's always nice to make it pay. And as we said, there's loads of races coming up, and it's not just here at Shelburne Park or Clonmel. All of the action right throughout Ireland tonight. Betting's available on the Bark and Buzz app. It's the only way to go if you do want to have a bet on the Irish Greyhound racing. And remember, the forecasts and trios generally are the dividends or the types of bet which pay better than most. But Ian, they'll be going to trap shortly for this 5th race. There's something about seeing defending champions in action, and no doubt you were pretty excited both before and after Ballymacbeanie last week.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not just the fact that she's a defending champion. She's a superstar. She's a bitch with everything. She has good speed to the corner. She's a great trapper. She's massive down the back. And, you know, she actually stretched on again into the line last week. So, you know, there's no question she could stay further. I don't think we'll see an awful lot more of her after this, Oaks. I think the plan was to breed her. I think that's why the boys bought her. Of course, she's owned by Pat and Alan Dobbs, as well as Ciara, Alan's wife. So really just enjoy her while she's here, because she is a very, very special lady. And draw tonight, hopefully she'll just hit the lids once again. We'll see her going to the front and comfortably earn her place in the 3rd round. I don't think they'll mind if she doesn't go too close to 28 seconds, because they've got bigger tasks ahead, namely in 3 weeks' time. We'll see if she's there. Hopefully she is. She's a special lady.
In 12 runs, she's only been out of the first 3 once. Let's hope we don't put the mockers on her. They've still to be called the trap scene, so let's go back to the English Greyhound Derby. Before we get your second pick, the Paul Hennessy team, it's not as big as it was. I know a couple of the Greyhounds, JT Wexford and that, aren't in the first round draw. He won it 2 years ago. He won it with JT Jet in Wimbledon. It's a small but select team for Mr. Hennessy this year.
Small but select. I'd be probably putting a line through the likes of Boyle Sports Bingo and Hello Hammond. While they're very admirable greyhounds, Boyle Sports Bingo being a competition dog, Hello Hammond has massive pace, but the sat-nav just doesn't seem to be quite working at times. Price's Jet is frustrating, but he's very capable. Like he's already broken the track record there. Okay, it's since been broken, but we know what he's capable of. But have no doubt, Beach Avenue is where Paul's chances lie. He's as fast as any greyhound on the planet from the second bend home, and barring traffic problems, how can you knock him out of the competition? I think he'll be there in the final stages, and hopefully he gets a run on the big night, because he is a very, very special greyhound, a very fast greyhound, a dog that has really turned inside out in recent months, and I'd love to see him getting to the final, both for Paul and his family, and of course the Healy's, who are great supporters of the game, and they are living every stride with this greyhound. It's just great to see him in the latter stages of the Derby. Meanwhile, we'll focus our attention back on the next heat of the Oaks. They're all in. So to heat 4 of the Sporting Press online edition Irish Oaks, the defending champion in 4, Ballymacbeanie. She's joined by 2 Highview Secure, 3 Paradise Asia, 5 Ballymac Juliet, and 6 Right So Bell. The hair coming up behind traps. And away they go. A good start by Trap 2 up the inside, Highview Secure. But there goes Ballymacbeanie up the middle of the track. She will lead on the bend. From in second, 6 Right So Bell. Then comes 2 Highview Secure. But Beanie is on by 2.5 to 6 Right So Bell. Then comes 2 Highview Secure. But still 4 Ballymacbeanie stretching on now. She's gone on by 4.5 lengths around the bottom 2 bends. 6 Right So Bell running well in second, and 2 Highview Secure next. The rest never landed a blow. It's Ballymacbeanie, professional as you like. Second is 6 Right So Bell. Highview Secure is third, 28-29. Another fine display by Ballymacbeanie.
Yeah, fine display indeed by the defending champ. That's win number 9 from 13 starts, and there's just something about a defending champion. It was a level enough break. She just managed to get her nose in front around the opening 2 bends. We did say Right So Bell might improve from her run last week, and she's run a blinder in defeat, and once she turned second, her place in the quarter-final draw was all but secure, and Highview Secure pretty much the same. At this stage, Beanie just starts to extend her lead from Right So Bell. It was never in doubt, as we said. Once she led at any stage in this race, it was never in doubt. She's more workmanlike. I know that the time of 28-29 is brilliant, and I suppose when something goes and does 28-18, we're expecting her to go faster, and she's obviously gone faster, but it never looked explosive on the eye, Ian. But 28-29, I'm not putting that down at any stage. You just get the impression more is to come from her.
Yeah, you do. I also get the impression that tonight they're not quite getting their toe into the sand and driving off it. Trap 4 though, Ballymacbeanie just did have the class and the speed to get to the front, and after there, like, I think you used the word workmanlike. You know, she's winning in 28-29. Like, there was a time it would have been unheard of, but 28-29 from the front, doing everything right. The defending champion is there. She's very much a player in the next round and future rounds. I think they'll take it. I think they'll be more than happy with this lady. I'd expect her to go faster in future weeks, but have no doubt Ballymacbeanie, as workmanlike as that perhaps was, she's still a big player.
Yeah, when I say workmanlike, it's the biggest compliment to her, because we all know how good she is, and we're nearly putting her down when she does 28-29, but that's because we know how good she is and how capable she is of rattling that 28-second barrier. Next up at Clonmel, by the way, is our 5th race. We're changing stakes. We've gone to the Produce Stakes to the Galloping Kennels A2525 stake. The first semi-final of that'll be next up. Then we'll have the second semi-final, and then we'll get back to the Produce Stakes. And of course, before the end of the programme, Joe will have the final draw of the 2021 Larry O'Rourke Produce Stakes. So make sure you do hang around for that. We all know that Explosive Boy was the winner of the opening semi-final, despite not perhaps being at his best. But as you can see, pictures are coming through at Clonmel. We've got 2 females in this lineup. We presume they haven't gone on parade yet. Trap 1 is an absentee, so we only have the 5 greyhounds going to traps, and as you can see, they are just coming out on parade for our 5th race. So it's the opening semi-final of the Galloping Kennels A2525, kindly sponsored by Pat Creed in Clonmel. And the first on parade is Black Summer for Sean Lahey and Thomas Norton. She's one of 2 females in the lineup. Now, she has still to win from 5 starts, but again, that doesn't do her justice, because from halfway, this daughter of Logical Blow can fly. And if she can get a clear run tonight, she might make it 6-time lucky. That's Black Summer. Monty's Fame is in trap 3 for Joe Crotty, a 4-time winner from 20 starts. Trap 4 is Bright Roddick for Mary Lynch, a 3-time winner from 8 starts, possibly the likely leader. Trap 5 is Pepe Le Peu for Arthur Morrissey in Golden, a 4-time winner from 9 starts, a son of Droopy's Jet. And in 6, we have the second of the females, which is Minor Droopy for Mary O'Connor in Clonmel. She's won 3 from 9 starts, and she is the only wide seed. Before we go to Joe, we're going to have her 3 to follow. Remember, trap 1 is an absentee. We're going to kick off with Black Summer, as we said. She is the only maiden in the lineup, but she's got a big chance here because she hasn't always got the best of luck in running. She can fly from halfway. She's some really good runs in Kilkenny, and if she can improve slightly on a recent 28.97, she won't be far away. Trap 4 is Bright Roddick, a son of Droopy's Roddick, a 3-time winner from 8 starts. Most of his good runs have come in Limerick. 28.83 he's done in the past. That would give him a big chance, and as we said, he's possibly the likely leader. And then we come to trap 6, Minor Droopy for Mary O'Connor, the second of the females, and she's 3 from 9. No looking to produce, but she does take a step down in grade. Joe, what do you think of this?
Yeah, this is another very, very good quality 8-2-5-2-5 semi-final, of course, kindly sponsored by Pat Creed for his Galloping Kennels. Trap number 6, Minor Droopy for Mary O'Connor. Clonmel, of course, Mary, very, very shrewd operator with the Greyhounds. We'll appreciate this drop in class. Ran in the first round of the Produce Stakes, so going from open class down to 8-2. Similarly, trap number 5, PP Le Pew, a top open class. It was running in open class company last week in the Produce Stakes, has a bit of an early kick, finished actually 3rd in the first round of the Produce Stakes, this Greyhound, so that bit of place for him in such company is going to see him go very, very close in this one. Mary Lynch travels from Limerick with her runner Bright Roddick. Mary's another lady, and I know her quite well from Limerick. She's a very, very shrewd operator, and she's not travelling down to Clonmel for the fun of it. Definitely fancies this one, of course. Has some very, very nice runs on its card. Only 8 runs, but 3 wins on its card so far, and very well bred as well. As you say, Monty's Fame for Joe Crotty, another one with very consistent performer as well, has been in the frame 15 times out of 20 starts. Black Summer, as Rob alluded to, is a very, very strong finisher. Will be doing its best work from halfway. Trap number 1 is vacant in this race, so that could allow Black Summer to get a nice clean run up the inside, and if it does, as Rob said, definitely a massive, massive run in this Greyhound, of course, owned by Sean Leahy and Thomas Norton. If I had to pick one, probably Pepe Le Pew would be the one to go for here. 9 starts, 4 wins. That's almost 1 in every 2 strike rate, so it's a very, very good strike rate. Minor Droopy, of course, Mary O'Connor, only in August 19 whelp, so very, very young. All to play over here. It's a very, very strong race. If I had to pick one, probably trap 5, 6 to be thereabouts as well. And we're heading over to Eddie for the commentary.
Bell goes for the semi-final of the Galloping Kennels. 8-2, 1 is vacant, 2 Black Summer, 3 Monty's Fame, 4 Bright Roddick, 5 Pepe Le Pew, 6 Minor Droopy. Here's behind traps. And they're off and running in traps 5 and 6. Match strides in the early stage with 5 just holding the advantage on the run to the bend. That's Pepe Le Pew. And as Pepe Le Pew goes around the lane clear of 6 and 2nd, 2 and 3rd and 4 and 4th. Entering the back straight with 300 yards to go, it's Pepe Le Pew who stretches about 4 lengths clear of 6, who makes a move to split to halfway. 16.08, a fantastic run. Trap 5 continues to lead. Pepe Le Pew, 2 now moves into 2nd. That's Black Summer, and 6 is 3rd. But the race up to the judge. Trap 5 is looking for the line. 2 stays on, but 5 might have held on. We'll leave that to the judge. 5, 2 and 6. Your unofficial result, winning time 28.78.
Yeah, finish of the night so far. I think Joe might have given us the winner. We might have got the forecast as well, but for a long way up the home run, I thought it was going to be the other way round. Most definitely the finish of the night, and we're going to have a rerun of the closing stages. Trap 5, Pepe Le Pew. He looked a sitting duck for most of the closing stages, but in the end he has hung on by the looks of it. Minor Droopy, in fact, might have got up for 2nd because Black Summer just wasn't maybe staying on it as best as she has in the past. We'll have another look. It was Pepe Le Pew and Minor Droopy who managed to break best, and Pepe Le Pew led around the opening 2 bends, and at this stage he just starts to extend his advantage from Minor Droopy. This is where Black Summer, having got a clear run around the opening 2 bends, starts to stay on it and put in her challenge. She gets a nice split here off the rail with a Droopy's minor Droopy, and off the final bend it surely looked a matter of time before Black Summer put her head in front. But in fairness to Pepe Le Pew, he's just stuck it out, and I don't know what's finished second, Joe, but I'm fairly sure you've given us the winner there.
Always nice to give a winner, and hopefully those who are on the Backing Buzz app were on that Greyhound. Of course, as we said, came third in the first round of the Produce Stakes, so that put a place for him in top class company. As we said, was going to see him go very, very close. They threw the kitchen sink at him. They all came at him at the end. But the result isn't actually official yet. I definitely think Trap 5 is up. Minor Droopy from Mary O'Connor ran with fantastic credit as well. It was really, really powering home from the third bend. But look at the clock, 28.78. This track is going quite well tonight, and the performances have been astounding thus far in the A2 semi-final. But as you say, these are greyhounds, so we're not too far off being open class. We're still awaiting the judges' verdict here, so maybe it's closer than what we think. Myself and Ian Fortune have had a few run-ins with photo finishes before, so maybe I shouldn't say an awful lot more, but I definitely think Pepe Le Pew got up 6, and Black Summer looks to be third as well. The result is coming in. Trap 5 is winner. 5-6. 5, 6 and 2. There's your official result. And as you said, Rob, we give the trio Trap 5, Pepe Le Pew, Minor Droopy and Black Summer. So if those punters who were on that, well done to you. But a very, very impressive performance by Pepe Le Pew. And those three qualify for next week's Galloping Kennels A2 525 final. Back to you, Rob.
Yeah, thanks for that, Joe. You can't beat live TV. Right, possibly the race of the night in the Irish Oaks coming up. Ian, over to you.
Thanks, Rob. Runners on parade for Heat 5, the Sporting Press Online Edition Irish Oaks, in one Ballydoyle Rossa for P.O. Barry, a daughter of Droopy Sydney and Ballymac Razzle. She's won 3 of her 7. She's a real powerhouse. She set the standard in the opening round with a brilliant 28-17 run. 2 Crossfield Fina for Brendan O'Shea, a daughter of Kinloch Brayan. Crossfield Betty, an impressive winner last week in 28-42, good early speed. In 3, the Puppy Oaks winner, Susie Sapphire, got no chance to run last week, but she showed plenty of pace. Owen McKenna, Peter Comerford, she'll bid for the early advantage, a daughter of Droopy's Jet. And 4 Cabra Ava for Ava Scally, a daughter of Kinloch Bray and Cabra Smoky. She has won 9 times in her career. 5 is Moonstruck, owned by David Buckley. Trimba Sean Conway, a daughter of Siderian Blaze and Droopy's Fane. She's winning form over further round here. And out in 6 is Frontamani, one of the fastest in training, male or female. Robert Gleeson for Kevin Proctor. She's a daughter of Sonic and Rural Aloha. She's a massive runner in this contest. It is Heat 5, the Sporting Press Online Edition Irish Oaks. They're on the way to boxes, not long left to get involved.
Yeah, not long left to get involved, so we'll get 3 straight to our 3 to follow, and we start with the fastest of the opening round heats, Ballydoyle Rossa in Trap 1. This one for P.O. Barry, 3 wins from 7 starts, 28-17. That's just 1 spot faster than Ballymac, than we've had already tonight. The 28-18 run from Billy's Diva. She's in Trap 1 again. We know what she can do. If she hits the lids, it'll take a good one to beat her. Next up is the Puppy Oaks heroine. That's Susie Sapphire for Peter Comerford and Owen McKenna. She's 4 from 8. Maybe not seen at her best on her most recent start. She's clocked 28.44, but if she's to put it up to Ballydoyle Rossa, she might have to go a little bit faster here. And then we come on to Front Armani, as Ian said, one of the fastest in training. And this one for Robert Gleeson. Kevin Proctor, the owner of this lady. She's 6 from 13. She very, very seldom runs a bad race. She starts, she stays, and as Ian said, she is one of the fastest that any handler can put a lead on. They'll be going to trap shortly, Ian. This is a proper buckle. 3 greyhounds who are probably good enough to go all the way. What's the likely winner in your opinion?
I had to choose today just for a preview and talking dogs. I end up going with Front of Manny. I think she's the most likely to get a clear run on the outside of the track, where I think Crossfield Fina and Susie Sapphire could potentially get in each other's way. If Ballydoyle Rossa was on their heels in behind looking for a run, maybe Front of Manny might just get a run around Moonstruck and the likes of Cabra Ava. If she does enter the back straight within 2 or 3 lengths of, well, certainly Crossfield Fina or Susie Sapphire, you'd fancy her to get to the front. Ballydoyle Rossa would be a very different scenario. Whether she can set the pace like she did last week is, well, that's open for debate. She's not normally one that flashes out and makes every inch of the running. Tonight she might just struggle to get the same run that she got last week. I'll go with Front of Manny, but outside of that, it's very tough trying to pick a winner here. I think Susie Sapphire might just get to the front early, and she could be the one they have to catch. While I have you, Rob, though, we have to mention Pepe Le Pew, or Pepe Le Pew. given Joe's, self-proclaimed sort of success with the ladies and the fact that he's, on Tinder 24/7, I thought he'd be a big fan of Pepe Le Pew, the cartoon character, the Lothario. That's probably named after Joe, God knows, but no, Pepe Le Pew, he's called him. So I hold my hands up and go, we can't help him. We can bring him to water, but we can't force him to drink.
Yeah, well, he did tip him up in fairness, so we will give him that much. Right, Ian, they haven't been called to traps yet for the latest of the Irish Oaks action. So let's get your second Greyhound out of the 4 to follow in the English Greyhound Derby. You've given us Native Maestro. What's the fortune number 2 from next Thursday onwards?
Well, Pat Buckley won it last year. There's a strong argument to suggest he could win it again this year, be it Dearjet Sydney or Knocknabull Sid. I'd like to couple them, to be honest. Knocknabull Sid was a stunning winner of the Easter Cup. I think he's a better greyhound than he was last year. He's still every bit as consistent at boxes. He's still going to go up fast, but I think he's stronger than he was 12 months ago. And Knocknabull Sid has to be certainly amongst the favourites, and I think he is probably favourite with most of the firms, and with reason. I think he's an exceptionally talented greyhound with just all the right attributes and qualities needed to win a derby.
Yeah, thanks for that, Ian. We've given the last 2 trios here at Shelburne, so hopefully we'll make it 3 on the trot, and we've gone for Ballydoyle Rossa, Susie Sapphire and Front Armani. If you're getting involved in the trio on Bark and Buzz app, you can do that always. We've hit the jackpot twice, and hopefully our luck is going to continue. So as you can see, loading on the way, potentially this is the race of the night. If Ballydoyle Rossa, Sapphire, Susie Sapphire and Front Armani all hit the lids, this is going to be a classic. Over to you, Ian.
Yeah, thanks, Rob. As you can see in traps now. Heat 5 of the Sporting Press online edition Irish Oaks. 1 Ballydoyle Rossa, 2 Crossfield Fina, 3 Susie Sapphire, 4 Cabra Ava, 5 is Moonstruck, and 6 is Front Amani. Potential classic, this. Racing, good start by trap 4 in the middle, Cabra Ava, now 3 Susie Sapphire, showing her early speed to lead on the bend. From in second spot, now 6 Front Amani, rounds the field to go second, and it's race on. Susie Sapphire on by 4.5, 2 in second, Front Amani. Ballydoyle Rossa, don't rule her out either, she'll be finishing fast, as will Front Amani, but it is 3 Susie Sapphire. Here comes 6 Front Amani and 1 Ballydoyle Rossa off the final turn. Susie Sapphire is treading water, 6 Front Amani gets there from 3 Susie Sapphire and Ballydoyle Rossa. The winning time 28:33. Fantastic display by first, second and third.
Yeah, I couldn't have put it better myself, Ian. A lot of times you build up races to be mouth-watering, and that race has most definitely delivered. You can see the closing stages. Susie Sapphire, if only she'd have broke a little bit better, she might have hung on, but she's run a blinder in defeat. But as you said, Ian, this Front Amani, she has got pace to burn, and how she's managed to win when you see the replay. She had a huge task ahead of her off the second bend, and she is as fast as there is. As you can see, 4 gets a flyer, Cabra Ava, but at this stage Susie Sapphire gets her nose in front around the opening 2 bends, followed by Ballydoyle Rossa. There goes Front Amani. She's moved into second, and you call it at this stage, Ian, we've got a match on, and we most certainly did, but she's still 4 or 5 lengths behind the Puppy Oaks winner, and even at the third bend, one wondered, was she going to claw her back, because Susie Sapphire, she does stay to 5-2-5 on. She railed like a cat there, but just in the closing stages, Front Armani, how good is she? And Ballydoyle Rossa, you said it at the third bend, Ian, do not rule her out, and you can see at the escape, she's on the tail of Front Armani. We said this was the race of the night, and it most definitely has delivered, Ian.
The photo finish for second spot. I'm going to slag our director off here. He thought it was for first place. He's not used to the angles here at Shelbourne Park, but I'd say she's after winning a length Front of Manny. Off the second bend, you asked how did she win? Well, she won here because she went around trap 4 Cabra Ava, and all of a sudden she finds herself second. She cuts Ballydoyle Rossa off ever so slightly. She was already have been cut off by Susie Sapphire, and that was the winning of the race for 6 Front of Manny. She has stunning pace from the second bend. We saw her come from a lot further back in the Puppy Oaks to be beaten a length and a half. Tonight she turned second in clear track, and that was the key. She was always going to pick up Susie Sapphire. It was just a case of how late would she get there. She got there relatively late, but she won comfortably in the finish from, I think, Susie Sapphire and Ballydoyle Rossa. But tremendous display, as I've said, by first, second and third. Excuses perhaps for Susie Sapphire, she missed a kick. Ballydoyle Rossa got cut off slightly twice, so she can certainly finish closer, but have no doubt these are 3 big players in this Oaks.
Yeah, 3 big players in the Oaks, and it's races like that makes you feel fairly lucky to be here at Shelbourne Park, because that was worth the wait. Right, we're hearing that they've already finished parading at Clonmel. You can just see they're finished parading for the second of the heats of the Galloping Kennels A2525, kindly sponsored by Pat Creed. And as you can see, the last few greyhounds are coming on parade. Boggross Amigo is in trap 4, Knox Skipper is in trap 5, Narrabane Wonder is in trap 6, and Springwood Sala, Blitzing and Valencia Royal are in traps 1, 2 and 3. So we'll go to our 3 to follow. We're flying at Shelbourne. We've given the last 3 trios, so hopefully we can follow the way at Clonmel, although Joe gave us the last winner. First of the 3 to follow is Springwood Sala. Maybe a Liverpool fan is Dennis McCarthy, a 3-time winner from 14 starts, returning from a break, but has a good sprint run of late, and that might just put this son of Droopy's Jet spot on for this second semi-final. The second greyhound over 3 to follow is Bogcross Amigo for Noel Culleton in Feathered. 2 from 3, a vastly improving son of Clonbrine Hero, and as we said, has managed to win its last couple of starts in 28.95 and 29.08. Most definitely one for the shortlist. And then we've got trap 5, Knox Skipper for Robert Finn in Stradbally, a 2-time winner from 9 starts. No look in the produce, was running in the produce. That obviously tells you how good connections think this son of Droopy's Kane is, and he takes a step down in grade here, and his form prior to the produce stakes is fairly good. So if you're getting involved in the trios and the bark and buzz, this might be a greyhound who could boast up that trio dividend. Right, Joe, no pressure, but you gave us the last winner, so like buses, let's hope 2 come at once.
Well, Robbie, Mr. Fortune was talking about it a while ago. I've only been on 2 apps since I've come to Clonmel this evening. The first of them is the Bark and Buzz app, and that's been happening for me. And the second app has been the Tinder since I moved to the new location. Those 2 apps are going very, very well for me, and we're hoping we are going to go even one better tonight and maybe get the trio in this 6th race. It's a very, very hot race, and I'm looking at trap number 3, Valencia Royal, trained by Owen McKenna. Look at the dam of this fantastic greyhound, Fear Amoski. She was a fantastic bitch, of course, and the breeding is absolutely amazing. Grandson of the wonderful Kildallan Maid, one of the best dam lines in the country, it must be said. An October 19 whelp, won on debut in Clonmel in 29.08, and sure to be in the mix this evening. Noel Curleton from Feathered sends out Bog Cross Amigo. Noel, of course, is a very, very shrewd operator with his greyhounds as well. Ran 3 times and 2 wins. Definitely to be in the mix as well. So maybe 3 and 4. 28.95 in his last race. Knox Skipper, of course, from Robert Finn down from Stradbally, sure to be in the mix as well. And Narrabane Wonder for Gerard Langan and Andrew Delahunty from the wide trap of 6. 11 races for him and 5 wins. So that's a massive, massive strike rate as well. Dennis McCarthy from Mellows sends out Springwood Sala. Has a bit of form in open class company, but has been off the track since December. A half brother to JT Samurai, so this dog can move as well. But if I had to go for the trio, maybe 3, 4 and 6 from the wide outside. But it's a very, very hot race, and thanks again to our sponsor Pat Creed from Galloping Kennels. It's fantastic to see such wonderful stakes in Clonmel here this evening, and very, very exciting race to look forward to. And we're heading over to Eddie for the commentary.
We're all set for the second semi-final of the Galloping Kennels. 8-2 in 1 Springwood Sala, 2 Blitzing, 3 Valencia Royal, 4 Bogcross Amigo, 5 Knox Skipper, 6 Narrabane Wonder. Here's behind traps. And away they go, and it's trap 5 who's first to show. That's Knox Skipper. He leads up narrowly from 3 and 2. As they go into the corner, there's going to be a bit of shoving and pushing as 2 runs wide, but it's trap 5 who still leads into the back by 2 lengths from 1 and 2nd. That's Springwood Sala. Trap 2 is 3rd, Blitzing, and trap 6 is 4th. Entering the 3rd bend with a split of 16.32, it's still Knox Skipper who leads for Robert Finn. 3 lengths clear of Springwood Sala in 2nd. They're clear of trap 6. Narrabane Wonder in 3rd. There's a race up to the judge. It's Knox Skipper who's made most of the running. Wins from 1 and 2nd and 6 and 3rd. 5, 1 and 6 for your trio. The winning time 28.73.
Yeah, 28.73 the winning run. We did say with Knox Skipper, his form prior to that, the produce was fairly good and gave him a big chance. And obviously, if they ran him in the produce stakes, they thought he was fairly smart, and he's proved that he gets a flyer from traps. He already has built up a couple of lengths advantage. Now, he just did manage to get across Blitzing, which was probably the winning of the race. And once he led off the second bend, he was always going to take a bit of catching. Springwood Sala has turned 2nd, and in fairness, has gone down fighting for Dennis McCarthy. And the 3rd greyhound, Narrabane Wonder, has stayed on well for Gerard Langan and Andrew Delahunty to finish 3rd, and it looks as though that lad might have just hung on, but he didn't just hang on, he qualified well. But it was a good performance from the winner. Knock Skipper. We said, Joe, he'd gone to the Produce Stakes, and there's a couple of greyhounds right throughout the supporting card that went to the Produce Stakes, didn't quite work out, and they're running in grades that they're probably a little bit better, and that lad probably was the same there.
Yeah, as you alluded to there, Rob, a massive drop in class from running into Produce Stakes, but Connections clearly taught an awful lot of this greyhound to run him in a competition like the Produce Stakes. And look at his breeding, very interestingly. His granddam Lahal Lass bred the Derby winner Lahal Blake, Lahal Duke and Lahal Billy. So, as we always say in the show, an ounce of breeding is worth a ton of feeding. And that was a fantastic performance by him tonight, 28.73, a very, very classy run, and is definitely one to follow to win the Galloping Kennels 82525 stake. As you said, Springwood Salah for Dennis McCarthy, travelling from Mallow, ran with great credit, coming back from a lay-off and had a nice 16.52 trial around here a number of weeks ago. So sure to be improving, returning from that lay-off, and back in third, Narrabeen Wonder, as you say, for Gerard Langan and Andrew Delahunty. A 28.89 win in Waterford shows how good this greyhound is, and as you said, fought gamely to finish third in this race and marches on to the final next week. So very, very good performances by those three who march on to the final of the Galloping Kennels 82525 here in this sunny evening down here in Clonmel.
Yeah, thanks for that, Joe. Of course, next up at Clonmel is the second of the semi-finals of the Larry O'Rourke Produce Stakes, and we will have the draw for the final. Joe will be bringing that to us as soon as he gets it down in Clonmel, and we will do our best to bring you the quarter-final draw of the Sporting Press online edition Irish Oaks. And not just that, but we'll do our best also to bring you the result of the Lee Strand final down in Tralee. That's due to go to Traps at about 9:21, so we'll do our best to bring you all the breaking news as soon as we get it. Greyhounds, they haven't yet come on parade here at Shelbourne Park for the latest of the Irish Oaks action. So England is our next port of call. Back to another classic. You've given us two of your four to follow: Native Maestro and Knocknabula Sid for Pat Buckley. Both Irish. I presume your number 3 is Irish as well.
You can be sure if you give me 12 options, I think I'd go with 12 Irish. Listen, I'm going to put Dearjet Sydney in with Knocknabula Sid. All right, I'm going to cheat. I need an extra pick. What have I mentioned? I haven't mentioned any of Liam Dowling's. I'm going to put in Ballymac Ariel because she is special. There's no question about that. And I'm hoping that she gets her trapping in order and that she shows the world exactly what she's capable of at Toaster. As we've said earlier on, she's a very special lady. She has the pace to challenge any of them, so I'll put her in. We might as well stick a lady into the selection.
Yeah, it is lady night here at Shelburne for the foreseeable future. Right, back to the ladies, and they're on parade for the next.
So the Sporting Press online edition Irish Oaks, and first up in red, Ballymac Art. Liam Dowling owns and trains his daughter of Ballymac Best, an art of illusion. Next in the blue jacket is Black Malibu for Sally O'Donovan, a daughter of Confident Rankin and Currelay Jean. Some fine former on Youghal. 3 is Old Treasure for Reggie Roberts, a daughter of Loyal Blake and Idle Gossip. 4 is Sinfonia, big finisher for Owen McKenna, Pamela Holt, the daughter of Loyal Blake and Fira Mosky. 5, Tip Top Taylor, Paul Ryan, the daughter of Droopy Sydney and Marlfield Taylor. And completing their lineup in 6 is Benamedina Roxy, owned by Stephen Pennell and care of agent Kevin Lochnan, a daughter of Droda's Woohoo and Cabra Roxy. Most impressive last week, and she is a leading fancy. It's the next heat of the Sporting Press online edition Irish Oaks. They'll be going to Traps shortly.
Yeah, they will be going to Trap shortly indeed. Right, the first of our 3 to follow for Heat 6 of the Sporting Press Online Edition Irish Oaks is Trap 1 Ballymac Art for the Ballymac team down in Ballymacgalliga, trained by Liam Dowling. Obviously, he's going to have plenty of chances over in the English Derby from next Thursday onwards. This lady's a 9-time winner from 21 starts. She followed home Ballymac Beanie last week, but we know what she's capable of. Some brilliant runs here at Shelburne. Has beaten the likes of Billy Zeeve in the past. If she can reproduce that run, she probably will take plenty of beating. The second of our 3 to follow is Black Malibu for Sally O'Donovan. She's a 6-time winner from 19 starts. She might be a little bit of value if you're putting a greyhound into the trio on the Barking Buzz. She's got some really good form down in Youghal. She might need luck on her side to qualify, but she's no back number, and she might be a bit of value on the Barking Buzz app. And the last of our greyhounds in our 3 to follow is Old Treasure for Reggie Roberts. Reggie Roberts, we all know his capabilities with greyhounds. He had that great bitch Old Maid all those years ago in the Irish Greyhound Derby. Now, she is the most inexperienced of these. She's a daughter of Logiel Blake. She's only won one from 4 starts. She will need to improve, but again, if you want the forecast or the TriCast to pay in the Bark and Buzz app, she might be just one to put in. That's Old Treasure. Obviously, Ballymedina Roxy in Trap 6 is most definitely one with a big chance as well. But Ian, it's the latest of our Sporting Press Online Irish Edition Oaks action. As well as giving us the winner of this, you might as well throw in your 2 pins for the next of the semi-finals down in Clonmel, the Produce Stakes semi-finals, second one of those.
Yeah, first you have to mention about Reggie Roberts. You said about Old Maid going so close in the Derby. She did. He won the Oaks, though, in 1992 with a great bitch called Old Spinster. Brings back some great memories. She was a real tool. But on now to the second semi-final of the Produce Stakes. As I said to you earlier on, Deadly Destroyer was my sort of value selection for the competition. But Good Cody, we could be just looking a gift horse in the mouth here. He's an October 19 whelp. He took off last week. He did a sensational section to the third bend. He showed unbelievable early dash. He could be just the next coming. He could be a dog that is just developed into a serious contender. It'd be no surprise John Kennedy has had one or two of them in the past. Good Cody, a very, very, very talented greyhound. And if he does something like he did last week, he'd be very hard to stop. But as I've said, Deadly Destroyer and Viper's Buzz, for me, the two against him. But looking ahead now to this next heat here at Shelbourne Park, as you see, going behind traps, Ballymacar to be very difficult to beat. She was scheduled to trial at Toaster during the week, but having made her way through the opening round of the Sporting Press Irish Oaks and having seen the draw that she got in the second round, Liam decided, no, I don't think we'll bother with the trial at Toaster. He, like me, probably thinks she looks a good thing in this contest. She should hit the front if she doesn't miss the kick. I think Sinfonia will run a big race, and Ballymedina Roxy's another one that should make the frame. They'd be my 3 against the field. Well, the runners now in traps for Heat 6 of the Sporting Press Online Edition Irish Oaks. 1 Ballymacart, 2 Black Malibu, 3 Old Treasure, 4 Sinfonia, 5 Tip Top Taylor, and 6 is Ballymedina Roxy. Here coming up behind traps, racing, good start by 5 Tip Top Taylor, but there goes Ballymacart ups the inside, showing great early speed. Tip Top Taylor ran a blinder in the opening round. It looks like she's running a blinder in the second round. A gap back to 2 Black Malibu in third. Then comes 3 Old Treasure, but out front, and it's all about 1 Ballymacart. Tip Top Taylor trying her best to hang on to her coattails off the final 2 bends now. It's still Ballymacart, leads him into the home straight. 5 in second, Tip Top Taylor. Running on is 4 Sinfonia, but up the line, 1 gets there, Ballymacart. From 5 Tip Top Taylor, it's mighty close for third between 4 Sinfonia and 2 Black Malibu. The winning time, 28:37. Professional display by Ballymacart.
Yeah, professional display indeed, and this was all over from Trap Rise. She's come out level, but she showed really, really good early pace, and she's led Tip Top Taylor around the opening 2 bends. We know how good Ballymacart is. She's 28:21 on her card, 28:25. So once she led, she was never going to get caught. Ian said it in commentary. Tip Top Taylor has run a blinder just like she did last week, and she's most definitely worthy of her place in next week's quarterfinals. And after that, it's pretty tight for third. Has Sinfonia got up for third? It is tight. But in the end, while 2 greyhounds dominated from early, once Ballymacart led, it was never a case of a case she was going to be reeled in, and she's done it in 28:37. She's a progressing bit, Sheen. She's now 10 from 22, and if she keeps getting trap 1 for the remainder of the competition, she's likely to go a long way.
She is. She has good early speed. We did say it last week that she ran a big race in behind Ballymacbeanie. She too was returning after a layoff last week. She had a small tendon problem with the toe, but as you can see, she did come away reasonably well from the inside and quickly got racing. But Tip Top Taylor runs an absolute blinder in second spot for Paul Ryan. I know he had been happy with her in the opening round. He's more than happy with her in the second round. She is very well bred out of Marlfield Taylor, of course, a half brother of hers. Run Happy ran up the Irish Derby here a couple of years back to Lenson Bocco, led for much of the way, and this Tip Top Taylor, she's one to keep an eye on. But Ballymacart, very impressive display from the front. Tip Top Taylor, massive run in defeat. She's only beaten 2.5 lengths, and as I said, it got very tight for third spot, but a lot to like about the first and second.
Okay, thanks for that, Ian. As soon as we have confirmation of the third place Greyhound, we will let you know if Symphonia has got up or not, or whether Black Malibu has hung on. Right, we're back to the business stuff, that the main event, or one of the main events down in Clonmel, because it's the second semi-final of the Larry O'Rourke National Produce Stakes of 2021, and as you can see, the Greyhounds are coming on parade. First on those on parade is Good Cody for John Kennedy Jr. They've already had a good night here at Shelbourne Park. 3 wins from 8 starts for this son of definite opinion. He's unbeaten in the competition so far. The likely leader if he hits the lids. Deadly Destroyers in trap 2 for Jerry Hannon and Carl Ramsbottom. Carl Ramsbottom, what a 12 months he's had. He's getting greyhounds to the latter stages of many a competition. He's a 5-time winner from 15 starts. Deadly Destroyer, if he breaks, he's surely going to be in next week's final. Viper's Buzz is in 3 for Kieran Hicks, another who was strutting his stuff down in Limerick in recent weeks. He's a 5-time winner from 13 starts. He might need luck because we know he's a stout stayer, but if he gets a clear run, nothing will be finishing faster than him. Cash Return is in 4 for Peter Kelly in Manchester, trained by Brendan Mounsell, a 1-time winner from 6 starts. Has yet to win in the competition, but I wouldn't let that put you off the son of Kinloch Bray. Then we've got Agent Stanley for Marion Skippy Gilbert, owned by Patrick Flanagan and Erwin Burkmere, an 8-time winner from 18 starts. Got to the Conananny Kirby final. Well, what an achievement it would be if he could get to another final. And 6 is Rural Star for Helen O'Dwyer and Emily O'Dwyer, trained by Graham Holland. This lad, he's had no luck in recent runs, but you can't rule him out. 3 to follow starts with Good Cody, unsurprisingly. 2 from 2 in the produce so far. 28-20 last week sets the standard. If he can reproduce that, he's very likely going to win. The second of our 3 to follow is Deadly Destroyer for Carl Ramsbottom. He hasn't enjoyed the best of luck in the competition so far. He's a 28-28 winner in the first round, but didn't get much luck last week. We know he runs Limerick well. We know he's run Clonmel well. If he can just avoid an early battle with Good Cody, it'll be interesting to see if he can come out on top. And the last of our 3, well, we have to mention Agent Stanley, because what an achievement it would be if he could get to another final for Marion Skippy Gilbert. They were going down to Limerick and back every week. Now they're doing it at Clonmel. 29-35 doesn't really tell you half the story of last week. He didn't encounter much running, but we know what he can do. He nearly managed to go all the way in the Conananny Kirby, and it wouldn't be a surprise at all if this lad can get his place in another high-profile puppy competition. So we've been going well at the trios in Shelbourne Park, and our trio, if you do want to get involved in the Barking Buzz app, is Good Cody in trap 1, Deadly Destroyer in trap 2, and Agent Stanley in trap 5. Maybe by leaving out Viper's Buzz, you might get a bit of value there if the trio does click. Remember, it's a great way to enjoy the racing, and remember, it's not just at Shelburne and Clonmel that you can have a flutter. If you fancy any greyhound running at any of the provincial tracks in Ireland tonight, well, we've got it all priced up on the Barking Buzz app. A great way to enjoy the night. Right, Joe, back to you. Explosive boy. Did it the hard way in the opening semi-final. What's going to be the 1, 2, 3 that books your place in next week's final?
Yes, Rob, this is a cracking semi-final to look forward to hearing. You just alluded to Agent Stanley there. I met Skippy Gilbert on the way in, smiling and happy as always, and very, very upbeat about Agent Stanley's chances tonight. Remember, this greyhound has a 4:08 and a 4:12 sectional in Limerick, and to do that to the opening corner is absolutely massive. This greyhound led up to Conananny Kirby, which is the richest puppy race in the world. That shows you the class of Agent Stanley. And he's 14-1 for the competition during the week. I definitely reckon he is massive value at that from this trap 5 draw. But there's phenomenal amount of early in this race. When you look at trap 1, Good Cody, 275 to the opening bend last week. I mean, that is just cracking early pace. If he repeats that, he'll be very, very hard to stop. Deadly Destroyer, of course, for Carl Ramsbottom, and as you say, a top class trainer he is as well. Viper's Buzz, I met Kieran Hicks out in the car park on the way in as well. He was very upbeat about his chance. This is a greyhound I really love as well, and stays very, very strong. It's very, very wide open. I find it very, very hard to pick. Maybe Agent Stanley.
Cody 2, Deadly Destroyer, 3 Viper's Buzz, 4 Cash Return, 5 Agent Stanley, 6 Rural Star. Here's behind traps. And away they go on trap 4, takes a flyer. That's Cash Return, but he's quickly headed by trap 1, Good Cody, who sprints clear into the corner. Clear of trap 2 in second, 4 in third, and 5 in fourth. Entering the back straight, it's trap 1, Good Cody, who set a sensational split last week. He's 5 or 6 lengths clear of trap 2 in second, 5 in third. The split is 15-70, an amazing run. Trap 1 is still clear from 2 in second and 4 in third. But as the race up to the judges, Good Cody, fabulous front performance again, wins from 2 in second and 4 in third. 1, 2 and 4 for your trio. The winning time was a fantastic 28:09.
Fantastic, 28.09, the fastest of the competition so far. He's gone 11 spots better than he did last week. And if you didn't know much about Good Cody, well, you do now. That was sensational. He's come out well. He's shown his brilliant early pace, as he generally does. And once he takes off this second bend, it was going to be a matter of how far. He is absolutely flying at this stage. And the further he goes at this stage, he's leaving Deadly Destroyer in his wake. And we all know how good Deadly Destroyer is. He's done 28.28 around Clonmel, Deadly Destroyer. And Good Cody has left him standing down the back. Now, in fairness to Deadly Destroyer, he has closed the gap in the closing stages. And that might give Carl Ramsbottom hope for next week. But that was scintillating to the third bend, as you heard in commentary with our man Eddie. That sectional was breathtaking. 28.09 down in Clonmel. Joe, I think we've just, if you didn't already know much about Good Cody, I think he has just proved he's as fast a youngster as there is in the country.
Holy moly, I'm blown away by that performance. Oh my word. He has lit up Clonmel track 15.70 to the third bend. Has to be some sort of record. The last greyhound to light up Clonmel in such a fashion was definitely Clare's Rocket a number of years ago, who did 27.87 and holds the track record. Well, that track record could be at risk next week if Good Cody keeps progressing like he did here. What a performance, my word. Simply breathtaking, Rob. You hit it the nail on the head. It was a fantastic performance there. As you said, Deadly Destroyer, another top class greyhound, one of the top greyhounds in the country over 525, and even it made him look orderly. Such is the manner of the performance there. Cash return for Brendan Mawson, of course, travelling up from Tralee, making that journey worthwhile. Ran with great credit. Aegis Stanley unfortunately didn't qualify. He had a bit of a tussle with him up the back straight, and Cash return came out on top to finish third. But my word, Good Cody, 28.09. It was scintillating performance, literally breathtaking, and it was a joy to watch here in Clonmel this sunny evening. Absolutely beautiful performance to see, and if he can repeat that next week in the final, he has to be favourite. Even, I'd have to say, even Explosive Boy probably not going to be favourite next week after Good Cody put in such a run. But just goes to show you the level of class on offer here in Clonmel, and massive final, fantastic final to look forward to.
Yeah, it takes a lot to take Joe Sheahan's breath away, but Good Cody has just managed to do it. They've only left the weigh room complex here at Shelbourne as we look forward to the penultimate heat of the night in the Sporting Press Online edition Irish so you're not missing much. Ian, back to the English Greyhound Derby. You've obviously given us your four. Night Tornado, I believe, courtesy of a WhatsApp from you, trial before racing, and he's in that first round draw. How did he get on?
I don't know, to be honest. I think he's in trap two. As I said, I don't think many of our big guns have been drawn too badly. There was 32 heats in all, Rob. I can't remember them all. You should have given me a heads up. But, you know, obviously I think he could be a big player. The problem is he's only had 9 career starts. He's very likely raced, and, you know, he's only had one run this year. Didn't figure in a 550-yard contest here at Shelburne Park. So we're taking it on trust that he'll be spot on and ready to rock. You know, the trial tonight would suggest that he's going well, 28.28. Just looking the way the track has gone this evening, I think it's probably speeding up a little bit. I'd say that 28.28 was a pretty massive run from Night Tornado, so I won't put anybody off. I'll be honest, as soon as I saw his name on the trial sheet, I had to throw a few quid on as well. It sounds like I have an awful lot of them back. I don't. I have about 7 or 8 back, and he just happens to be one of them, Night Tornado. Really looking forward to it, especially if he takes the toaster. Just a word there on that Produce Stakes heat. I said it before the race, you know, Good Cody, we could potentially be seeing the emergence of a superstar. It's worth pointing out that only one greyhound has ever gone faster at Clonmel, and that is Clare's Rocket. Granted, he's gone faster on 4 different occasions, but 28.09 around Clonmel, that's sensational stuff from Good Cody. This is the type of emergence we saw from the likes of Pastana and Ewan Taylor last year. It's a very, very special run. I dare say John Kennedy's been answering the phone a fair few times over the last couple of weeks, and he'll be answering again this week, because Good Cody is potentially as fast a greyhound as we have in the country, judging by that performance tonight. Meanwhile, as you can see, the greyhounds on parade now for Heat 7 of the Sporting Press Online Edition Irish Oaks. In 1, Kitty's Roddick, owned by William Stacey, trained by Keith Powell, a daughter of Druppies Roddick and Marwood Bray. Next in blue, Kilpipe Blue, owned by William Codd and trained by Graham Holland, a daughter of Druppies Sydney and Vic Raz. 3 is Revio Diva, Philip Fitzpatrick, owns and trains this daughter of Premier Fantasy Revio Blue. 4 is Kishlon Amelia, Gavin Nolan and Orla Nolan, a daughter of Kinloch Bray and Penny's Queen. In 5 we have Roxholm Socks, Umba the Haley and the Glory Boy Syndicate, Trimba Martin Lanny, a daughter of Farlow Blitz, Lughill Lily May. And 6 is Ballymac Biscuit for Liam Dowling, a daughter of Ballymac Matt and Dolcino Rose. It is Heat 7 of the second round of the Sporting Press Online Edition, Irish Oaks. And on paper, perhaps the most open of the night.
Yeah, thanks for that, Ian. When I said how did a Night Tornado do, I was referring to his trial, but you did mention him, so you are forgiven. Right, let's get on to our 3 to follow in our penultimate heat, and we're going to start with Killpipe Blue for William Codden and Graham Holland. Has only managed to win 1 from 10 starts, but that win did come here last week when beating Tip Top Taylor in 28.73. We've already seen Tip Top Taylor run pretty well tonight, so Killpipe Blue, good draw, and might make it 2 from 11 tonight. The second of our 3 to follow is Kishlawn Amelia for the Nolans, a 5-time winner from 22 starts. She didn't get the clearest of runs last week when finishing 3rd behind Front Armani. That's a good run, and she has recorded 28.44 and 28.57 here at Shelbourne. So on those runnings and on how the track's running tonight, she no doubt has got a big chance. And the last of our 3 to follow is Ballymac Biscuit for Liam Dowling. Bidding to give Liam a double here tonight, a 1-time winner from 7 starts. She generally does her best work from halfway, as we saw last week when she finished 2nd to Ballydoyle Rossa. She's in trap 6. The draw might suit, and if she gets a clear run, she might have a big say in the finish. As we said, we've been doing well in the trios tonight in the Bark and Buzz app, so hopefully we might get another one to click here with 2, 4 and 6. But again, Ian, we've a couple of minutes. I know we've got English Derby on our mind, but I suppose an awful lot of Greyhound folk have the English Derby on our mind. We must give Brendan Matthews a mention because he's got 3 potential, I don't know if you want to say contenders, but the Machine, we obviously saw him run quite well down in Limerick. Would the Machine be a Greyhound suited by Toaster?
Well, I suppose the fact that he's been around there, he reached the final of a puppy derby there, would certainly stand in his favour. I think he's a dog that'll run most tracks because he's generally going to be off the pace and getting to pick and choose his own line. He's similar to Beach Avenue in a way where you're going to need a bomb to keep him out of the frame. He's so fast. We saw that in the Conanani Kirby Memorial. When you consider the ground he made up and the likes of Explosive Boy and Agent Stanley, and you see how well they're running again, the Produce Stakes. You know, very few greyhounds in training, very few greyhounds on the planet would do what he did down at Limerick. So certainly a dog I wouldn't be ruling out. And, you know, he's another dog that he's very much an each-way play. Here they are now in traps for Heat 7 of the Sporting Press Online Edition Irish Oaks. The hair in motion for Heat 7. 1 Kitty's Roddick and 2 Killpipe Blue. 3 Ravio Diva. 4 Kishlawn Amelia. 5 Roxholm Socks. And 6 is Ballymac Biscuit. The hair coming up behind traps. Racing, good start by 1 up the inside. Kitty's Roddick now challenged by 2 Killpipe Blue, but it is Kitty's Roddick who will lead around the opening bend. In 2nd is 2 Killpipe Blue. Back in 3rd is 3 Ravio Diva. 1, 2, 3 into the back. Ballymac Biscuit trying to improve in 4th, but out front it's 1 Kitty's Roddick maintaining a strong advantage of about 3 lengths over 2 Killpipe Blue. 3 Ravio Diva and 6 Ballymac Biscuit. But onto the final bend, it's Kitty's Roddick digging deep out front, and Kitty's Roddick will win for William Stacey and Keith Powell. Congratulations to them. Killpipe Blue was 2nd. It's tight for 3rd. The winning time 28.63.
Yeah, 28.63, 1, 2, 3, 4 in that order as they cross the finishing line. And in fairness to Kitty Roddick, she's got an absolute flyer. She didn't lead last week against Front Armani, but she did tonight. And once she led around the opening 2 bends, and she's got a couple of lengths to lead over Killpipe Blue. It was going to take a fairly good performance to catch her. At this stage, we were looking at Ballymac Biscuit to see would she start to stay on like she usually does. And she has just crept closer around the top 2 bends, but she's never really got into the mix. Off the final bend, Kitty's Rocket. In fairness to Killpipe Blue, she's come at her, but Kitty's Rocket has won comfortably in the end, and she's done it in pretty good style from Killpipe Blue. And as we said, it looks as though Rivolo Diva for Philip Fitzpatrick might just have snuck in to 3rd. She was having her 48 run tonight, so it'll be interesting to see if she has hung on. But Ian, maybe not the result we were expecting, but in fairness to Kitty's Rocket, she hasn't done anything wrong.
No, she certainly hasn't. It's worth pointing out that her dam, actually, Marwood Bray, is a sister to English Derby winner, considering we're talking about the English Derby. She's a sister to Astute Missile, who won an English Derby at Toaster. Out front, this daughter of Druppy's Roddick and Marwood Bray. Now, she didn't run too bad last week in defeat when you consider the company she was keeping. She has 28.70 on her card prior to tonight. And once she hit the front, she even checked up at that third bend. She never really looked like getting caught. She stayed on stoutly to the line. She's bounding on happily out front. A career best effort in 28.63, but I wouldn't rule her out going faster in the future. She's clearly in fine form. Kitty's Roddick, nice winner for Keith Powell and William Stacey.
Yeah, absolutely. Great to have maybe an unfamiliar name or not one of the big names in with a chance of going all the way. That's what Greyhound racing is all about. Right, the action coming thick and fast as it has done all night every week. And back to Clonmel we go because we're on to our 8th race. It's the next of the sweepstakes down in Clonmel. And this time it's the Riverside Kennels A2 550 stake opening semi-final. First on parade is Woodbrook Laurel for Phil Collins. Don't think it's a singer. 5 wins from 31 starts. Just touched off here last week. And this is a son of Log Hill Blake. 2 is Bombay Joe for the Parachute Syndicate in Feathered. A 1-time winner from 7 starts. Generally does his best work from halfway. So watch out for him. Of course, a son of the legendary Ballydoyle Honey, a superstar here at Shelburne Park. 3 is Glenduff Cally for Sean Meany and Kerr. The only female in the lineup. A 3-time winner from 11 starts. Starts and stays does Glenduff Cally. 4 is Dramana Fury for Ger O'Brien and Garrod O'Brien, trained by Garrod, a 3-time winner from 8 starts. 5 is Fantasy Paul for Leslie Coveney and Adam Dunford. And 6 is On Your Way for trainer Rachel Wheeler. Joe, we've got our 3 to follow, but we might go give the bragging rights to you this time. And what do you fancy in this 8 race?
Thanks, Rob. I really fancy Dramana Fury here for young trainer Garrod O'Brien. Of course, we've seen Garrod on RT News and Don done a good interview with him last week. It's great to see the crop of young trainers and people getting involved in Greyhound race at the moment. It's fantastic to see it. And I think he has a very, very nice Greyhound on his hands here. Of course, Dramana Fury ran in the Produce Stakes, finished 3rd the first night behind Navy Blue. Last week, completely missed his break altogether. Probably 5 lengths down on his normal split to the third bend, but ran on actually with good credit after that. I know he finished last and was beaten 13 lengths, but from the start he got, it was actually quite a good run. And I think that drop down to A2 is definitely going to suit him. And as regards staying perspective, well, his dam was a massive, massive engine, over 1,000 yards, won over 1,000 yards and ran into Ted Hegarty final. So Dramana Fury is definitely one I like here. Bombay Joe, of course, my namesake, a son of Ballydoyle Honey. Well, what a bitch he was. Of course, won the Oaks and won an Open 600 in Shelburne as well, so I suggest this one will stay all the way. But quite an interesting contest, Rob, for sure, and we'll go with your 3 to follow.
Yeah, thanks for that, Joe. Right, we're going to kick off with Trap 1, Woodbrook Laurel for Phil Collins, a 5-time winner from 31 starts, as we said. Has been running in open company not that long ago. It was late last year. Starts and stays, has run over 750 yards, and it'll be pretty hard to pass if Woodbrook Laurel can manage to get his head in front. Trap 3 is Glenduff Cally, the only female in the lineup for Sean Meany and Kerr, a 3-time winner from 11 starts. Like Trap 1, starts and stays. All three wins have come in Cork, but it'd be hard to keep out of the frame if this daughter of Kinloch Bray can take to Clonmel. And the last of our 3 to follow is Trap 5, Fantasy Paul for Leslie Coveney, trained by Adam Dunford, a 3-time winner from 13 starts. A regular down in Youghal, that's where all of his wins have come, and he was a really good winner in 29.02 on his most recent start in Youghal. If he can hit the lids, he just might be the early leader is Fantasy Paul. And well, our 135 is our 3 to follow if you do fancy getting involved in the trios on Bark and Buzz. Speaking of the Bark and Buzz, the Pick 6 here at Jackpot at Shelburne Park has not been won, so there will be at least €1,000 of the pool carried forward to Mullingar tomorrow. So if you want to get involved in the Pick 6 at Mullingar tomorrow, the Pick 6 here at Shelburne hasn't been won, and that's going to be carried forward to Mullingar tomorrow. Remember, with big stakes like that or big jackpots like that, if you're not in, you can't win. Right, they are all in at Clonmel, so let's get to Eddie.
Bell goes for the first semi-final of the Riverside Kennels. A2 550 and 1 Woodbrook Laurel, 2 Bombay Joe, 3 Glenduff Cally, 4 Dramana Fury, 5 Fantasy Paul, 6 On Your Way. Here's behind traps. And away they go, and it's trap 2 who's first to show, but quickly joined and headed by trap 6, but it's tight going into the corner. Trap 2 has the rails, and is he going to go round in front? Yes, he does. It's Bombay Joe who has the lead now, entering the back straight by a length from 5, who's challenging strongly Fantasy Paul. Trap 6 is back in third, and trap 1 is fourth. The split time is 16:40. It's decent enough. Trap 2 kicks on again at the third bend and pulls 3 lengths clear as 5 and 6 lose ground by bumping. 1 now moves into second. It's the turn for home, and it's the second winning line. It's trap 2 who's going to romp home here from 1 and second, 6 and third. 2, 1 and 6, your unofficial result. The winning time 30:21.
Yeah, 30:21, the winning time. Bombay Joe, the winner of that. Not too sure if our own Joe is part of the winning parachute syndicate. We'll have to find out. But speaking of parachutes, it was pretty much all over once Bombay Joe broke, because he's managed to get around in front. There was a little bit of traffic problems in behind him. And from the second bend, this is where Bombay Joe really takes off. We did say beforehand he's a greyhound who does do his best work from halfway. It's actually at the third bend where he just starts to put this race to bed. Fantasy Paul has done his best to stay with the winner for a long way, but gave way at the third bend, and the further Bombay Joe was going, the further he was going to win, and he's won by a long way, perhaps 8 lengths in the end. And as you heard with Eddie, he's clocked a winning time of 30:21. It's all about luck in these semi-finals, Joe. I suppose the key is qualifying, and if you can win en route to the final, it's a bonus. And in fairness to that lad, he tracked well around Clonmel.
Well, as you said, Rob alluded to, I'm not involved in the syndicate, but Bombay Joe, I am partial to the odd glass of Bombay Sapphire Gin. I never say no to it, quite nice. Bombay Joe, very, very impressive performance, stayed very, very gamely all the way from track to line. Woodbrook Laurel had a good pipe opener over 750 around Cork last time, and that stood to him here. Ran on with great credit, was fighting a losing battle, so it looked up the back straight, was a long way off the pace, but ran on very, very strongly. And of course, the Rachel Wheeler trained on your way put in a very, very good shift, coming third as well. And as you said, 3 of them march on to the final. It could go any way if Bombay Joe produces a run like that, sure to be thereabouts. Well, the clock as well was a quite fast 30:21, and if you have a greyhound doing around 30:20 for the 550, you definitely have a nice type, especially approaching an A2 final. But as we alluded to, a son of Ballymac-Honey, Ballydoyle Honey, should I say. What a phenomenal bitch she was. Winner of the Oaks, winner of the Open 600 in Shelburne. Did 29:43 for the 550 in the round of the East Cup. But she was just a phenomenal bitch, and it's great to see her progeny going on to perhaps maybe become like her even this one if it keeps progressing like his mother did. Sure to be thereabouts.
Yeah, plenty of traits of Ballydoyle Honey there. Right, they're coming on parade for the final second round heat of the Sporting Press Online edition Irish Oaks. And perhaps we're saving the best to last with Scooby Princess. We'll find out shortly. Ian, they're on parade.
Runners now parading for the final second round heat of the Sporting Press Online edition Irish Oaks, and up in red we have Asheville Doll, owned by Gerard Geary. This is a daughter of Good News and Posh Panther. She's won 4 of her 15 starts today. 2 Diva Deborah. Keith Powell has already had a winner here tonight. Can he complete a quick double? Owned by the Tipsy King Syndicate, a daughter of Druby Sydney and Cara Kayla. 3 is Black Eyed Alice, owned by Mary and Ruth Curtin. This is a daughter of Druby's Jet and Law Hill Alice. 2 wins from 4. In 4 we have Scooby Princess. Jennifer O'Donnell for Steve Noble, a daughter of Ballymac-Esky and Mount Taylor Queen in stunning form of late, one of Ireland's very best. 5 Wishful Peril, a night catcher last week for Jane Egerty and Bernard Farrell, a daughter of Druby Sydney and Ballymac Fifi. And completing their lineup in the striped jacket is Tiger in Tempo, Jerry Holian for Claire Gallery and David Ryan, a daughter of Druby's Roddick and Scissors. It's Heat 8 of the Sporting Press Online edition Irish Oaks second round. After this we will know our 24 quarter-finalists. They're on the way to traps, not long left to get involved.
Yeah, not long left indeed. Right, we're going to start our 3 to follow for our finale on the Irish Oaks front with Trap 2, which is Diva Deborah. This one for the Tipsy King Syndicate, trained by Keith Powell, as we've said. Or Trap 1, I should say, Asheville Doll for Gerard Geary. We're going to get to Trap 2 in a sec. But this Asheville Doll starts and stays a 4-time winner from 15 starts. Did really well to qualify last week after encountering early traffic problems behind Ballymacbeanie. A clear run for tonight for Asheville Doll, and she could very well find her place in the last 24. We'll move on to Trap 2 now, which is Diva Deborah for the Tipsy Kings Syndicate, trained by Keith Powell, as Ian said, already on the mark tonight. A one-time winner from 8 start. Not seen at her best in her last couple of runs, but you look to some of her runs in Newbridge, a 28.49. A reproduction of that would give Diva Deborah a big chance. She's one of the inexperienced runners in this lineup, and we're most definitely saving the best to last in this concluding heat, because we then move on to Scooby Princess for Steve Noble and Jennifer O'Donnell, the Limerick Oaks winner, semi-finalist of last year's Worldsports Irish Greyhound Derby, winner at the Winter Festival, and she's been dominating everything she's been running against in recent weeks. 28.28 here last week. She's done 28.12 here. She's 28.13 her card from Limerick. The one worry is Trap 4, because we know she can do it from Trap 1. We know she can do it from Trap 6, but can she do it from Trap 4? She did do 29.47 over the 550 from Trap 4 during the Irish Derby, but whether she can do it tonight, if she hits the lids, one wonders, can she go close to Billy's Divas run of 28.18? Just a recap, by the way, on what we've seen so far tonight at Shelbourne in the Sporting Press Online Edition Irish Oaks. The fastest run of the night, surprising or maybe not surprising, Billy's Diva in her third race, 28.18. She led from start to finish, and on that run, she most definitely has got a chance of going all the way. The defending champion, Ballymacbeanie, she did nothing wrong when winning in 28.29. We were saying maybe she wasn't at her best, but when a Greyhound does 28.29, we're probably clutching at straws to find fault with her performance. There was no faults with her performance, but just given how good she is, we know she can go better, but she was faultless tonight in 28.29. After that, well, we had a super run from Galadriel. That was the opening heat of the night. A little bit of surprise maybe on the form book, but she was brilliant in giving Declan Burnett a 1-2. She did it in 28.31. The race of the night, if you're on the Irish Greyhound website tomorrow, go back and have a look at this race if you didn't see it. Front Armani coming from a mile back to win in 28.33. The race of the night, and if Front Armani keeps doing what she did tonight, she will go all the way. She did 28.33 and Ballymacart did 28.37. The top 5 runs tonight, there's only 2.5 lengths between them, so as good as Billy's Diva was, there's not a whole lot between the 5 fastest runs of this competition so far. Right, are we saving the best to last? Can Scooby Princess throw her hat into the ring as we look forward to the quarterfinals? Well, Ian, they're up behind traps. Scooby Princess, can she do it from Trap 4? And if she gets a flyer, can she go close to 28.18?
Yes and yes. You'd expect her to be prominent in the early yards, and barring traffic problems, I'd expect her to do around the 28.20 mark. Track has just been plated once again, so everything's in her favour. It's not too cool in the evening, so there's no reason why track should be going back or anything like that. So yeah, I'd expect Scooby Princess to put in another supercharged performance. She's been in sensational form of late, as we said. Really at the peak of her powers, and we just hope now that we haven't put the mockers on her. She has a reasonable draw. She is a middle runner, even though she's an inside seed, she does tend to move to the middle of the track. Well, runners now in traps for the final second run heat of the Sporting Press Online Edition Irish Oaks, and there is the bell. The runners: 1 Asheville Doll, 2 Diva Deborah, 3 Black Eyed Alice, 4 Scooby Princess, 5 Wishful Peril, and out in 6 is Tiger in Tempo. Here, well on the way now for this 9th race, heat 8 of the Oaks. Racing, Scooby Princess took a flyer from 4. 1 goes up fast, though. Asheville Doll from in second spot, Trap 3. Black Eyed Alice, 4. Scooby Princess, the meat and the sandwich, but she comes out of it in 3rd, and she's surely too close, but it's 1 Asheville Doll on by a length to 3. Black Eyed Alice now 4. Scooby Princess winds them in on the outside. Scooby Princess makes her challenge. She'll swing wide for home. She always does. 1 Asheville Doll in 2nd, but it's Scooby Princess moving out to Trap 7. That's where she wants to be. Leads to the line, scores from 1 Asheville Doll. Another very tight finish for 3rd. 28.53 from Scooby Princess. She had to ride a bump or two, but she came through in fine style for Jennifer O'Donnell and Steve Noble.
Yeah, Ian put it perfectly. You see here, she gets a flare. At this stage, we were all thinking, right, 28.20's on the cards. But just going into the opening bend, as Ian said, she was the meat and the salmon. She was pushed wide by Black Eyed Alice. And suddenly, she's gone from being in a winning position to she has a little bit of work to do. Halfway down the back, she's only starting to turn up the gears here. She did this similarly in Limerick. She challenged at the 3rd bend, and she's just got her nose in front around the top 2 bends. Again, at this stage, you think she's going to go on and win comfortably. But as Ian said, she's run wide off the final bend. It was never really in doubt once she got going at the third bend, and we're all expecting her to do these brilliant times because she's done them in the past, but sometimes they're nearly better doing it in a workmanlike fashion, like we saw with Ballymacbeanie. And Ian, she's done well tonight, even though I suppose we were thinking early doors she was going to maybe do an exceptional run.
We probably saw exactly why we sort of suggested further in time. She is caught by the real speedsters into the opening bend, but she took a hefty bump, but she absolutely motored down the far side. Once she goes third, really she had the leaders in her sights. Ashfield Doll holding up Black Eyed Alice at that third bend, and here comes Scooby Princess on the wide outside. And while she always does swing wide, leaving the gap a little bit narrower than it should be, she goes on to win with a little bit in hand. There's no question she can do a 28.20, she can do a 28.10, but it's just that first 70 or 80 yards where she is a little bit susceptible, and when things really start to heat up in the latter rounds of the Oaks, that's where she may just be caught out. But she's after making it 6 on the bounce tonight. You know, she hasn't been beaten in quite some time, and that may be the case again next week if she gets a favourable draw.
And Ian, if you were looking for negatives again, and maybe this is me being picky, but she's been on the go obviously quite some time. She was running before the Limerick Oaks. Is it a case of just she's been on the go and maybe she's run a little bit flat, or would you take no negatives out of tonight's run?
I think she only had one defeat prior to her 6. I think that was her first start really this year when she was beaten, and then she's had 6 in a row. So you know, I'd say you could run this lady every week. You know, she's so strong. She seems to handle her racing well. Like, she does 28.53 tonight. She's after losing 3 or 4 lengths on the opening corner. I wouldn't see it as a negative. I can't see the next 2 or 3 weeks being a problem with her.
Okay, well said. Right, they're on parade for the next at Clonmel. It's the second semi-final of the Riverside Kennels A2 550. 30.21 was the winning time of our opening semi, won by Bombay Joe. And first on parade is Gunboat Premier for Sean Kenny and Boris Alia. One-time winner from 4 starts. No luck last week for the son of Droopy's Jet, but he's in trap 1 tonight, and that's likely to suit him better. 2 is Springwood Joy for Dennis McCarthy, a daughter of Droopy's Jet. She is a one-time winner from 11 starts. She's been placed an awful lot as well. She's been placed 8 times as well. She very rarely runs a bad race, Springwood Joy. 3, Midfield Dino for John Newman in Charleville, trained by Rachel Wheeler. She already has a runner in the final from the opening semi-final. And this Midfield Dino's got a big chance, or Midfield Dino's got a big chance, a winner of 1 from 2 starts. 4, Malix Stormy for Larry O'Rourke and Tom Morris Rowe, a 3-time winner from 13 starts. He was running, of course, in the Kirby, so he's got a big chance on that form. 5 is Ganya Go For It for Imelda Sinclair, a daughter of Definite Opinion, a one-time winner from 3 starts. She's the second female in the lineup. And in 6 we've got Catrig Cayman for Brian Gillard in Yorkshire in England, trained by William Finn, an all-the-way winner at Enniscorthy on his most recent start, and he's won 4 from his 14 races. Right, we'll get to our 3 to follow. And we're going to start with the Rachel Wheeler trained Midfield Dino in trap 3, as we said, an all-the-way winner last week in Clonmel in 28.92. That was after an eye-catching debut, and if he can improve again from that second run, you'd have thought he's got a big chance, and he's got really good pace from halfway. Midfield Dino. Trap 4, Malik Stormzy for Larry O'Rourke and Tom Morris Rowe, trained by Graham Holland. As we said, this lad was he got to the second round of the Kirby. He's been out of luck of late, but we've already seen it here tonight at Clonmel. Greyhound's taking a step back from competitions like the Kirby. They appreciate the step down in grade, and if this Malik Stormy gets a clear run, he might put up a fairly fast performance. And trap 5 is Can You Go For It for Imelda Sinclair, as we said, the second female in the lineup, trained by David Flanagan. She has managed to win 1 from her 3 starts. That run came at Thurles. That was in 29.01, and if she can improve a little bit from that, she may very well book her place in next week's final. But Joe, it was Bombay Joe in our opening semi-final. In your opinion, what will win this 9th race coming up?
Yeah, Rob, it's a very, very exciting race. Looking down through the card from top to bottom, there's a few lightly raced, unexposed young greyhounds who could be finding a lot of time. Looking at trap number 5, Can You Go For It? I love that name. Look at the breeding in this one. A son, or a daughter, should I say, of Soho Ark. The same Dam of Good Cody. So that's great breeding. Put in a great shift in Thurles, 29.01. A race winner there, and any greyhound who can do that clock round Thurles, that farm will definitely stand out for you. Rachel Wheeler, of course, has midfield Dino, won in 28.92 in its last race around Clonmel. Only 2 starts for this greyhound, so in its third race could be finding a lot of time as well. August 19. Well, Gunboat Premier, of course, 81-pound dog for Sean Kenny, young sort as well, with only 4 races ran, could be improving. Looking to the most experienced sorts, Springwood Joy for Dennis McCarthy, although only 1 win, don't be deceived by it, has a touch of class about that one as well. It's a very, very wide open. Malloch Stormzy is the one I'm going to go for. Comes home in Limerick around the curve in 12.25, can really motor, and I think 5.50 is going to suit Malloch Stormzy. Absolutely perfect. And we're heading over to Eddie for the commentary, but we're going with Malloch Stormzy.
We're all set for the second semi-final. The Riverside Kennels 8-2, 5.50 and 1 Gunboat Premier, 2 Springwood Joy, 3 Midfield Dino, 4 Malloch Stormzy, 5 Can You Go For It, 6 Catrick Cayman. And away they go, and it's traps 2 and 6 who's prominent in the early stages. 6 just about shading it, but 2 is the inside, and it's Springwood Joy who goes around narrowly in front from 4 in second, 6 in third and 1 in fourth. Entering the back straight, it's trap 2 Springwood Joy who has a narrow advantage over trap 4 Malloch Stormzy in second, trap 6 is third and trap 1 is fourth. Into the third bend they go, 4 challenges on the outside, looks a big danger, but 2 is gutsy and is sticking it out. 4-2 is the end of the home straight. It's a long run home now, remember that. It's 4 who's getting up, it's going to be close. 4-2 and 1 cross the line together. We leave that to the judge. The winning time is 30.44.
Well, we had a couple of good finishes a little bit earlier on, but I think we've most definitely had the finish of the night. If we're ever going to get a three-way dead heat on Talking Dogs TV, because that is really close. As you can see around the opening 2 bends, at this stage it was Springwood Joy who took it up, but I think off the second bend, Malloch Stormzy, if Joe wasn't fairly confident, I'd be surprised, because every chance at this stage that Malloch Stormzy was going to be the most likely winner. And even just when he goes ahead at the third bend, you expect him to kick on, but Springwood Joy, in fairness to her, has hung on. And then you've got Gunboat Premier up the inside rail, staying on with every stride. Maybe Springwood Joy has hung on, but it's a pretty tight photo finish. And again, Joe, we'll be waiting on the judge. Right, Joe, your thoughts on that, and then straight after this replay, we believe you've got the draw for the Produce Stakes final.
Well, I must admit, Rob, when Springwood Joy went up the back straight in front, I must admit, when Malloch Stormzy joined issue with him around the third bend, I said it's lights out, game over. I thought Stormzy was going to win decisively, because he'd been coming home very strongly in Limerick, as I say, 12-20. But all credit to Springwood Joy, really battled gamely. And this is why we love greyhound racing. This is why it makes it so exciting for us. Look at that finish. As you said, nothing between the 3 of them, hardly a hair's breadth between those 3. We're still awaiting the judge's result. Malloch Stormzy, I thought, navigated himself quite well, showed some good track craft, and as I said, we're waiting the result. It's coming in. 4 is our winner. 4-2 and 1 our result there. Trap 4 Malloch Stormzy getting up. Another one of the good tips coming in. And Trap 2, Springwood Joy and Gunboat Premier march on to next week's final of the Riverside Kennels A2 550, kindly sponsored, of course, by Team Holland. It was a fantastic race there and a massive final, very exciting final to look forward to. Now, folks, we also have the trap draw for the final of this year's Produce Stakes, and I have it here in front of me, and it's a mouth-watering trap draw from top to bottom in the red. For Patrick Ilfoyle, explosive boy, I think he'll be quite happy with his draw in Trap 1. Trap 2, Vallegro for Paula and Morris Heffernan. Trap 3, Deadly Destroyer, of course, for trainer Carl Ramsbottom in the white jacket. Cash Return runs from Trap 4 for Brendan Monsell, coming here from Tralee. Good Cody, 28.09 tonight. Not so sure if Connections will be happy with this trap. The orange jacket of Trap 5. And Court Mark Chief for trainer Johnny Linehan has Trap 6. Well, I think Guilfoyle is definitely going to be very happy with his draw for Explosive Boy, but that throws it wide open. I was going to say Good Cody is as good as a sure thing, but that draw out in Trap 5 is going to be very hard to get to the bend, as well as Court Mac Chief is a real railer and will move inwards. It's going to be very exciting, but what a mouth-watering Produce Stakes final we have to look forward to here, but very hard to pick one on that draw.
Thanks for that, Joe. I think that the trap draws most definitely made it a lot more open than we were thinking. Good Cody, he did manage to win a couple of weeks ago in trap 4, but how can he manage from trap 5? We'll have to wait and see. We'll get Joe and Ian's thoughts, reaction on that trap draw in due course. But here at Shelbourne, they've just finished parading for our 9th race. We're moving on to the latest of our open action here at Shelbourne, and it is our 9th race on the card. We've had an open sprint already at Clonmel, and we've got an open sprint coming up here at Shelbourne, so let's get our 3 to follow. And we're going to start with Paradise Mission in trap 1. Another greyhound like Balnakill Jet, who's been running against Deadly Big Show. Really good run 2 weeks ago when recording 1868 here. No match for Deadly Big Show, as we said, but there's nothing wrong with that, and if Paradise Mission can hit the lids from trap 1, the most likely winner, many would think. We move on to trap 5, which is Bulmer's Santini for Keith Mann, trained by Jamie McGee, a son of Bulmer's Baby, who was an open class sprinter herself here at Shelbourne. 3 wins from 14 starts. At Newbridge, 17:49 would suggest that he's in rude health heading into this open sprint. And the last of our 3 to follow is Galty Extra for Leonard O'Hanlon and Martin O'Hanlon, trained by Thomas O'Donovan. What a few weeks he's had. A 10-time winner from 24 starts. Another who's been rocking up against Deadly Big Show in recent weeks. Of course, got to the final of the Fair Warrior, has good runs here at Shelbourne and has good runs at Cork. So if there is a danger to Paradise Mission, maybe Galty Extra is the one to put up, and maybe that's the one to stick in the trios for the Bark and Buzz app. But Ian, your thoughts here and your initial reaction to the draw for the final of the Larry O'Rourke Produce Stakes.
I only heard it briefly. Am I right in saying that Good Cody's in 5, Explosive Boys in 1?
Yeah, that's it.
But the other real early pace dog is out in trap 6 as well. Is that right?
Yeah, I'll go through it again. It's Explosive Boy in 1, Vallegro's in 2, Deadly Destroyer's in 3, Cash Return is in 4, Good Cody is in 5, and Courtmore Chief is in 6.
Yeah, as they were calling out the draw, I was sort of praying for the connections of Good Cody, that he'd be drawn on the outside or the other side of Courtmac Chief. That's a real problem for him. If Courtmac Chief hits the lids, there's only one way he's going, and that's straight in. So Good Cody's going to need to be at his very sharpest. Given the draw, you'd have to go with Explosive Boy. If he hits the lids, he has a great draw on the fence, and even if Good Cody hits the lids, Explosive Boy doesn't have to worry about getting to the fence. He's already there, so he's bound to shoot up the inside of the track. And yeah, I think he'll be favoured now. Any other draw, perhaps Good Cody, but no, I think Explosive Boy will be hard enough to beat. Looking at this next race here at Shelbourne Park, you could make claims for a number of them. I know Paradise Mission in trap 1 won here in 1868 in its second last start, but if you look back at that race, it was sort of left in front. It was only 4th on the left in front as the likes of Deadly Big Show, Balnakill Jet, and there was another involved in a bit of traffic on that night. It was actually was Galty Extra, I could be wrong now, but he was sort of left in front that night, so I think he's more of a 4-bend dog running in sprints. Ella Supremo's an interesting one. 1876 trial last time out. I think when he did that trial, the track wasn't flying, so he's one to keep an eye on for Peter Cronin. Certainly bred to be a sprinter. Jumeirah Bridge is stepping back in Trippy, some good form. Bulmer Santini, that 1749 trial at Newbridge is an eye catcher, and Galty Extra, a really talented sprinter, but a long way out in trap 6. It's wide open. Maybe if I was having a bet and I saw that trap 2 Ella Supremo was a bit of a price, I may get involved, but other than that, I think it's very, very tricky. As you can see, the loading process is underway, indeed almost complete. Don't forget the second winning line. They are racing to the second winning line. And all in. So this open sprint, they're all in traps now. The Talking Dogs online TV open 350 in 1 Paradise Mission, 2 Ella Supremo, 3 Jumeirah Bridge, 4 is Fair Option, 5 Bulmer Santini, and 6 is Galty Extra. Hair up behind traps. Racing, good start by trap 4 in the middle, Fair Option, and 6 Galty Extra, now flying into the opening bend. Galty Extra, 3 Jumeirah Bridge, coming with a rush, 2 up the inside, Ella Supremo, traffic behind, and at 6 Galty Extra, from 3 Jumeirah Bridge, who stays tighter to the fence. Galty Extra digging in, Galty Extra will get there, from in second 3 Jumeirah Bridge, and 4 Fair Option. The winning time 18:68. The old adage in a race of 6 inside seeds, sometimes the best place to be is in the stripe.
Yeah, absolutely. Plenty of top-class sprinters have won here. stripes. We did say Galti Extra got to the final of the Fair Warrior, which is probably the best piece of form on show. He's come out well, and there was a little bit of traffic problems inside him, but he was leading at that stage, and once he was in front, he was never going to get caught. Jamira Bridges run a blinder for Jerry Hollyan, and in fairness to him, he's pushed the winner all the way, and it was a gap back to the Greyhound who finished third, which might have been fair option. But yeah, Ian, you said it, Galti Extra, it wasn't helping being out wide, but the way he broke, he probably might have won in any trap tonight. Would that be fair to say?
Yeah, he's probably the most proven of the six in sprints. He did come away well. He starts to edge it himself, but then straightens up, and he actually runs relatively straight into the corner. He's probably in trap 4 or 5 into the bend, cuts across. Trap 3, Jamira Bridge emerged from the pack. Nothing else really did look like landing a blow. Fair Option made a fast start, but had no answer to Galti Extra. And as so often happens with Galti Extra, he does swing off that second bend, but once he straightens up, he kicks again. Trap 3, Jamira Bridge had some fine four-bend form, so he's probably the dog you didn't want to see on the heels of Galti Extra, but Galti Extra running on very strongly for Tommy O'Donovan, who is a pretty exceptional trainer. He's been doing a great job with his dogs this year and last year and previous years. And Galti Extra for Lenny O'Hanlon and Martin O'Hanlon, claiming an 11th career victory. A real pro, a real nice sprinter, and they'll win plenty more races with this fellow before his racing career ends.
Yeah, well, if we had a running order, Ian, you'd be reading it, because the next thing we're going to talk about is indeed Tommy O'Donovan, because last night in Kilkenny, funnily enough, he managed to bag another big prize in the unraced, and he seems to have another hot property in his kennel.
But I'm going to have to, because it wasn't Tommy O'Donovan, it was Mark O'Donovan that landed the spoils last night, a cousin of Tommy's. Mark O'Donovan is on quite a roll at present. He won the Juvenile Derby last year with Skywalker Barry. He's since won the Select Stakes. His dogs are flying, and Serene Ace is a really nice type. I must say, I fancied Grange U Mac, who lost nothing in defeat last night. He was prominent into the bend, but Serene Ace got the run on him, showed good early speed up the inside of the track for Eddie Ryan, of course, the man who is responsible for the Serene prefix. He's owned some real stars in the past, including going back a few years, Serene Rumble, who was such a special greyhound. But Serene Ace, a different type of dog. He's all about speed, a real speedster. He's a dog that could be a Laurels contender in the latter half of the year. A really nice dog, but keep an eye on one or two in behind. Droopies, yes. Is certainly one to keep an eye on. The aforementioned Grange U Mac, and Get Away From Me out in trap 6 last night. He's another one to keep an eye on.
Yeah, thanks for that, Ian. The Greyhounds just coming on parade at Clonmel. By the way, they'll be on parade shortly. Now, we won't have pictures from Tralee, but they'll be on parade shortly for the final of the Lee Strand, and we will bring you the result of that. Ballymacrule, of course, is 9 from 9, so it'll bring interim to see can he keep up his winning run. So as soon as we get news from Tralee on the final of the Lee Strand, we will let you know there. But as you can see, Greyhounds are parading for the latest of our action down in Clonmel. It's our 10th race at Clonmel, 2 more races to go, and as you can see, Trinity Sidica, Long Isabella, of course, she has been she got to the Limerick Oaks final. She's taken a big step down in class. Deadly Tornado, of course, he was running in the Produce Stakes, and of course in the Sean O'Connor Cup final down in Limerick. He's another taking a step down in grade for Carl Ramsbottom. We've got New and Sheedy in trap 4 for Graham Holland, who managed to win the previous race, even though we thought that trap 2 had held on. That's New and Sheedy in 4. It's All Overs in trap 5, one of 3 females in the lineup for John Lahey and Thomas Lahey. And in trap 6, the sole wide seed is Farron Rory Megan for Keith Freer, a daughter of JT Jet, and another of the females. But our 3 to follow in this 10th race, it's the opening semi-final of the Ballymac Kennels. A1525 is Long Isabel. As we said, she's owned by James Wade. She's one of 3 females in the line. A huge drop in class. Got to the final of the Limerick Oaks, and of course she was running against Ballymac Beanie in the Sporting Press, our online edition Irish Oaks last week, so she'll be very hard to beat in her best form, and Long Isabel is taking a significant drop in class. As is trap 3, Deadly Tornado for James Wright and John Wright, trained by Carl Ramsbottom. As we said, he managed to win the first round of the Produce Stakes. He beat Zoom on that occasion. He was knocked out last week. He got to the final of the Sean O'Connor Cup down in Limerick. Is he the possible likely leader? If he is, it'll take a good run to beat him. He's most definitely one for the shortlist. And 4 is New and Sheedy for Larry O'Rourke, trained by Graham Holland. Would you believe this lad got to the quarter final of last year's Bull Sports Irish Greyhound Derby? He ran in the Easter Cup earlier in the year. the worry with him is he hasn't won in his last 10 starts, so he is on a bit of a losing run, but we know how good he is, and if the real New and Sheedy turns up, well, everything else might be running for second place. But it is our penultimate race of the show. This is most definitely one of the best races of the night so far.
Without a doubt, Rob. I mean, if you would look at a dog who has done 29.29 for the 550, a Derby quarter-finalist, and he's running an A1 company, you would automatically assume that he's an absolute certainty. But that's not the case here. This is a very, very wide open race. It has depth, it has quality, top class greyhounds in it, Deadly Tornado. Well, I know Carl Ramsbottom thinks an awful lot of this greyhound. He was able to do a 408 sectional to the bend in Limerick. If he repeats that, he'll be very, very hard to catch. Look at trap 2 and trap 3. Both progeny of Cruel Intentions, little brother and sister, side by side in the room and side by side in this race. It's all over, of course, there's a big chance for Lahey's as well. It's a very, very tight race. I'm going to go with New and Sheedy, Deadly Tornado, and maybe his sister.
The bell goes for the first semi-final of the Ballymac Kennels. A1 5 to 5 and 1 Trinity Syndica, 2 Long Isabel, 3 Deadly Tornado, 4 New and Sheedy, 5 It's All Over, 6 Farnori Megan. Here's behind traps, and away they go, and trap 3 takes a flyer. That's Deadly Tornado, leads up by a couple of lengths from 4 and second. Are well spread out at the first bend, and it's trap 3 who has the advantage, but it's only by half a length now. It's trap 4. New and Sheedy challenges on the inside and takes it up at halfway, goes a length clear. The split is 16.02. It's a marvellous run. 3 is a length and a half behind in second. Trap 5 is making ground in third. It's all over, but turning for home is trap 4. New and Sheedy is going to get back to winning ways tonight. He looks very impressive as he wins from 3 in second and 5 in third. 4-3 and 5 for your trio. The winning time 28.51.
The real New and Sheedy is back. We did say he was on that long losing run, but it's hard to keep a good greyhound down. And as Joe said, when you see a greyhound with form like him running it in an A1, you think he was a certainty. He never really looked a certainty, even though he did take it up off Deadly Destroyer or Deadly Tornado just off the second minute. At this stage, you reckon he's going to kick on and win quite significantly, but your eyes are automatically drawn to It's All Over in trap 5, who's run a blinder in defeat on only her 10 starts. She's most definitely a greyhound to keep an eye on going down the line. But off the final bend, New and Sheedy, maybe he's not as good as he once was, but he's done it well, and it's great that he got back to winning ways, and he's done it in fairly emphatic fashion. Comfortable fashion, I suppose, more than emphatic fashion, and there's no doubt about it. Regardless of what happens in the second semi-final, Joe, I'd say New and Sheedy is going to be favoured. Deadly Tornado did hang on for second. In third was It's All Over, but regardless of what trap he gets and regardless of what happens in the second semi-final, would it be safe to say that New and Sheedy is going to be favoured for next week's final?
Absolutely, Robin. Look, he showed a real sparkle of his old self. As we said, this greyhound is a Derby quarter-finalist. That is massive form to carry into this A1 stake. But Deadly Tornado, look at the split he done to the opening corner, 2.69. Good Cody done the same split. That is a split to an early pace split that's very, very rarely seen around Clonmel, so just goes to show the level of early pace Deadly Tornado has. But New and Sheedy, that strong staying performance from him, picking it up, taking the race by the scruff of the neck and marching on. 28.51 victory for him. Now, he's not that old either. He's a September 18, so you can bet your bottom dollar there's an awful lot more to come from New and Sheedy. And of course, that will, as you alluded to, Rob, he hasn't won a race in about 10 races prior to tonight. I think a victory like that could do wonders for a greyhound's confidence coming off the back of that losing trail. Deadly Tornado with a fantastic run back in second as well. In trap 5, It's All Over, running on with great credit as well. In August 19, Whelp, sure to be a lot more to come from him. But yeah, New and Sheedy going to be probably a worthy favourite for the final of the Ballymac Kennels A1 525 next week, Rob, for sure.
Yeah, thanks, Joe. The second semi-final of that is going to finish off our Clonmel action. As you can see, the Greyhounds are just coming on parade for our 11th race here at Shelburne. Just before we do that, we can tell you, breaking Drumulton Pilot has won the Lee Strand down in Tralee in a winning time of 29.84. That was run in the last couple of minutes, so Drumulton Pilot the winner of that. We also have heard that the draw for the Irish Oaks quarter-final draws have been made, so Ian, we might touch on that after the parade here at Shelbourne.
Runners on parade now for the next here at Shelbourne. The RCE AAO 525 in 1 Burgess Glengar for Sheila Spillane and JJ Fenley, a son of Patsy Sabbath and Glengar Badminton 2. Butsy's Bengal, Jerry Holian for the Butsy's Bonko Syndicate. This is a son of Pinpoint Maxie and Kalikal Tammy. Next in 3 we have Fast Fit Paddy for Declan McDonough, John Quinn, Paul Horrig, a son of Ballymac Vic, Ross Mult Martha. 4 Razzle Dazzle Monarch, Neilus O'Connell for the Kildare Kilcongan Syndicate, son of Makeshift and Razzle Dazzle Prue. 5 Dark Devil, Mert Lahey for Jim Langton, an informed son of Ballymac Vic and Bullrun Ballad. And out in 6 the Speedster Romeo on Fire for Graham Holland and David Firmager, a son of Droopy's Jet, and Rushmore Beatrice, brilliant winner in the opening round of the Produce Stakes. As I've said, fine early speed. They are the runners. It's the 11th race in the card, penultimate race here tonight at Shelburne Park.
Yeah, penultimate race indeed, as Ian said. It's the Rosnia Conaran Open 525, and the first of our 3 to follow is Burgess Glengar in Trap 1 for Sheila Spillane, JJ Fenley in Cork, a one-time winner from 7 starts. A very good run 2 runs ago when won here in 28-29. Bit unlucky last week. If he can reproduce that run from a couple of runs back, he's got a big chance. He's in Trap 1 again like he was when he recorded 28-29. Trap 2, the latest of our 3 to follow, is Butsy's Bengal for the Butsy's Bucko Syndicate, trained by Jerry Holly, an 11-time winner from 19 starts. He's done some really good runs here at Shelbourne in the past. He is capable of leading, and if he leads tonight, he could put up a really fast clock. And the last of our 3 to follow is Dark Devil for Jim Langton and Mert Lahey, an 11th from 22 starts. He's won his last 2, and he recorded 28-29 like Burgess Glengar did 2 runs ago. So again, if he can reproduce something like that, he's got a big chance. He also has some good runs down in Kilkenny. So that's Dark Devil in Trap 5. Probably a couple of minutes to go, Ian, until they go to Trap. So the quarter-final draw, as you know, has been done. You've had a quick glance of it. Can you run us through it, or can you maybe highlight the big matchups that we've got next week?
Yeah, well, we'll just highlight 1 or 2 of the big matchups. Ballymac Art and Billy's Diva are both in the opening quarter-final, where they will be joined by Ballydoyle Ross. I'll just call out that one. Ballymac Art in 1, Asheville Doll in 2, Billy's Diva in 3, Ballydoyle Rossa in 4. 5 is Revio Diva, and 6 is Galadriel. So another impressive heat winner in that contest. Ballymac Beanie is in the 3rd of the quarter-finals. I think it's the 3rd of the quarter-finals. They haven't been numbered, but it's I'm going to say the 3rd of the quarterfinals. She's in Trap 2. Black Eyed Alice in 1. Ballymac Beanie in 2. Ballymac Orna is Trap 3, Sinfonia in 4, Tip Top Taylor and Frontamani in 5 and 6. So Frontamani, Ballymac Beanie, Ballymac Orna, that's another hot contest. Just looking through the rest of them. Scooby Princess is again drawn in Trap 4. She'll have to contend with Susie Sapphire in 5. Swanley Chick is a great draw in 6 in that contest, with Susie Sapphire likely to edge inwards. Add in the likes of Killpipe Blue in 1, Clona Sky 2 and Highview Secure in 3. Another cracking heat. There's going to be no room for error, and that final heat is no question the weakest of the heats. No heat winners apart from Katie's Roddock racing in that one. She's racing from Trap 3. Battle Cries in 1, Razzle Dazzle Maya in 2, Kitty's Roddock 3, Highview Magnet in 4, Highview Lemon in 5 and Right So Bell in Trap 6. That was the heat you wanted to get into. Kitty's Roddock, as I said, the only heat winner in that one, but some cracking contests to look forward to. We'll get a chance to really sort of now later on and during the week, and yeah, plenty to look forward to here at Shelburne Park next Saturday night, the quarterfinals of the Oaks.
Yeah, thanks for that, Ian. Breaking news. So we've got the quarter-final draw of the Sporting Press Online edition, Irish Oaks revealed, and we brought you the news from Tralee, the winner of the Lee Strand. Right, as you can see, Greyhound are being called to traps for our penultimate race. It's an open 5.25. We've gone from top-class Irish Oaks action to an open 5.25. We've an open sprint, and we finish off with an open 5.50 here at Shelburne, and we still have one more race at Clonmel to come. So it's been a terrific night's action. As just to reiterate, if you're getting involved in the forecast or the trio on the Bark and Buzz app, we've had a good night here at Shelburne, and we've gone for 1, 2 and 5. So if you're doing the trio always, maybe 1, 2 and 5 is the way to go, and to make you a few quid. Weather forecast is pretty good, we believe, tomorrow, so it might be able to pay for a few ice creams. But the loading the penultimate race of the night, it's an open 5.25. Ian, once again, over to you.
Yeah, absolutely. If you are going out tomorrow, enjoy your ice creams. That's the main thing. They're in traps now. This is the 11th race on the card, penultimate race on our card here tonight at Shelbourne Park. And there is the bell. The runners in 1, Burgess Glengar, 2, Butsy's Bengal, 3, Fast Fit Paddy, 4, Razzle Dazzle Monarch, 5, Dark Devil, and 6, Romeo on Fire. Really competitive affair, this one. The trapping going to be all important. And fastest in the stride was trap 3 in the middle, Butsy's Fast Fit Paddy, should I say, but now Romeo on Fire showing great early speed. It gets all a bit tight on the inside. 4, Razzle Dazzle Monarch checks off wide, 3 goes second, Fast Fit Paddy, but Romeo on Fire has slipped the field and he's on by 5 lengths. 3 in second, Fast Fit Paddy trying to bridge the gap, so too 4, Razzle Dazzle Monarch, who's held up at that point. At 6, Romeo on Fire, 3, Fast Fit Paddy is closing, but not fast enough. Romeo on Fire from the outside made most, wins from 3, Fast Fit Paddy, and 4, Razzle Dazzle Monarch. The winning time 28:43.
Yeah, 28:43. He was out like a bullet, and even though it was Fast Fit Paddy who'd good early on, as you can see, Romeo on Fire just blew his opposition away in the early stages, got round in front, built up a nice hefty advantage off the second bend. And once you give a greyhound who's recorded 28:34 6 lengths here at Shelburne, well, you're not going to pull it back. In fairness to Fast Fit Paddy, as Ian said in commentary, has run a really good race in defeat. Another greyhound who's recorded a sub 28:30 run here at Shelburne, but it was all about Romeo on Fire. He had the draw, but he needed to get a good break, and he showed blistering early to do that. And Ian, he hasn't quite managed to record a personal best, but he's a greyhound now. He's got a 50% strike rate with 8 wins from 16 starts, and he's a greyhound who's most definitely going the right way.
Yeah, certainly. He's the type of dog that has sprinting pace. You could go to Dundalk with them, because I don't know where exactly you would go with him. He is a Laurels type greyhound, there's no question about that. He is fantastic early speed, but he is a relatively short runner. I don't think 550 yards will be in his remit. He's a brother, of course, of Ballinakil Jet, who's very much a similar style, brilliant early speed, doesn't quite get home. This fellow probably does stay a bit better than him, but as you can see, he burnt off his rivals, and there was traffic in behind. Fast Fit Paddy running a fine race in defeat, but Romeo on Fire, I think if I owned him, he'd probably take his chance around Dundalk and then perhaps have a go at the Laurels a little later in the year. He's that sort of class to the third bend, certainly. He might be a bit susceptible late in his races, but I'll tell you what, he's terrific early speed.
Yeah, terrific early speed indeed. Right, we're heading to Clonmel for the final race of the night. It's the second semi-final of the BallymacKennels A1 5-2-5. It's only a 5 greyhound affair. Trap 3, or 6 greyhound affair. Trap 3 doesn't run. There is a reserve, but we'll get to Trap 3 in due course. 1 is Jack's Little Thing for the Pillar Syndicate, trained by Graham Holland. Graham bidding for a double on the Clonmel card, and this lad is a 4-time winner from 9 starts. 2 is 5 Ali Crackle for Paul Hogan, a 14-time winner from 57 starts. The most experience in the lineup is 5 Ali Crackle. 3 is a reserve, as we've said. It's Window Maker for Michael O'Connell and trainer Chris Hoolan. 1-4 from 18 starts and has recorded 28.60 in Tralee. 4 is Rapid Jack, this one for Joe Crotty, a 10-time winner from 31 starts. Has done good runs and in Youghal and indeed at Clonmel in the past. 5, the only female in the lineup, is Ballinabola Mull for Brendan Murphy, a 3-time winner from 16 starts. Has been running an Enniscorthy in recent weeks. Is 1 from 1, funnily enough, at Clonmel, is Ballinabola Mull. And 6 is Cashin Harbour for Chris Hoolan in Tralee, trained by Chris himself, a 4-time winner from 13 starts, the son of Lenson Panda. So greyhounds have finished parading for our final race of the night at Clonmel. We'll go to our 3 to follow. We're concentrating on the outside traps here, and Rapid Jack is the first of those, owned by Joe Crotty in Dungarvan, a 10-time winner from 31 starts. No in Youghal last week, but some very good runs at Youghal, and if he can repeat something like his 28.53 around Clonmel, he just might be the one to beat. 5 is Ballinabola Mull for Brendan Murphy, the only female, as we said, in the lineup, a 3-time winner from 16 starts. Some good runs at Shelburne and at Enniscorthy. Very seldom runs a bad race, and as we said, is 1 from 1 at Clonmel, so she's bidding to continue that 100% strike rate. And 6, the only wide seed, Cashin Harbour for Chris Hoolan, a 4-time winner from 13 starts. Most of its good runs has come at Tralee. Probably needs luck early on, because this lad generally saves his best from halfway onwards, but if he is close enough at halfway, you'd be fairly sure that he's going to qualify for next week's final. So we've seen new in Sheedy set the standard, Joe, in the opening semi-final. What do you fancy to follow in his hoof prints?
And knowing Sheedy, Rob, I'm slipping up, but I omitted to mention that it was owned by, of course, Larry O'Rourke, who very kindly sponsors our Produce Stakes, so very fitting to see him make a final on the Produce Stakes final night card. This is an intriguing race, and it's an A1 contest, but it has the makings of an open contest. And look at Trap 2, September 16, Wellput was former Greyhound of the Year here in Clonmel, and also Trap 4, Rapid Jack was also Greyhound of the Year in Clonmel in 2 different years, of course. So an interesting fact about this race, the Greyhound are really loving this race, is Jack's Little Thing, owned of course by great friends of mine, Larry and Jack O'Shea, a young fantastic Greyhound man involved in the game, and Noel and David Byrne, of course, who have the Wine Tavern prefix, so a great syndicate there. Ran with great credit, won the Royal Hawaii at stud, unraced here in Clonmel in clock of 28.51. Of course, that sweepstake kindly sponsored by the local O'Dwyer family as well. Very impressive Greyhound. Won the opening night in Limerick of the Conan and Kirby in 28.71. So sure to be thereabouts. Well, a touch of class about open. Chris Hoolan, of course, travelling from Tralee, is always thereabouts. Has 2 runners in this race, Windowmaker and Cash and Harbour. But it's a very, very hard race to call. If I had to pick one to go out on the lucky last for a winner, I would have to say Jack's Little Thing, but the staying Greyhounds are going to come from the outside, in my opinion. Trap 5 and 6 stay quite strongly. The early is probably more on the inside, but some Greyhounds have been coming strongly from off the pace here tonight, so there's a good mix and match between early pace and staying power in this race for sure. But Graham Hollins is in fantastic form of late, and I'm nailing my colours to the mast on Jack's Little Thing for the Pillar Syndicate. And we're heading over to Eddie for the commentary on our lucky last race.
The bell goes for a second semi-final. The Ballymac Kennels A1 5-5-1. Jack's Little Thing 2, 5 Valley Crackle, 3 the Reserve Windowmaker, 4 Rapid Jack, 5 Ballinaboula Mall, 6 Cash and Harbour. And they're off and running, and Trap 1 breaks very smartly indeed. That's Jack's Little Thing, leads up by a couple of lengths already from a closely bunched field, headed by Trap 3 and 6 and 3rd, 4 and 4th. But entering the back straight, it's Trap 1, Jack's Little Thing, winner of the unraced stake here back in February. He's well clear, going past halfway. The split is 16.07. He's well clear of Trap 3 in second. That's Windowmaker. Trap 6 is 3rd and Trap 2 is 4th. But turning for home, there's only one dog in the picture. That's Jack's Little Thing. He's going to get back to winning ways in a very impressive style. 2 gets up for 2nd, 4, 3rd. 1, 2 and 4, your unofficial result. Winning time 28.40.
28.40, and how that does set up a brilliant and a mouth-watering final next week. Whatever New and Sheedy can do, Jack's Little Thing can do it better, and he's done that in brilliant style. And in fairness to Joe, he thought Jack's Little Thing would do something like that, and he's absolutely blitzed him. He's flew from traps. At this stage, he already has put this race to bed, but if anything, he's going further clear. He must be 6 lengths clear of Windowmaker at this stage, and the further he was going, the further he's is going clear. And as you heard in commentary with Eddie, he was a winner of an unraced stake in Clonmel. Obviously that experience has stood to him, but he's absolutely blitzed his rivals, and he's done it in a superb time of 28.40. The winning time is probably, by the looks of it, it's the fastest time of the night, barring the big run at in the Produce Stake. So 28.40 any day of the week, Joe, takes fairly good stopping, and he's definitely made that final next week even more looking forward to now.
Well, we have an absolutely savage find to look forward to. New and Sheedy was so impressive in the last race. If this was any other A1 competition, you'd nearly say he'd have to be odds on to win this. But look, not after the performance after Jack's Little Thing. Of course, we alluded to this Greyhound's form before the race. Of course, winner of the Royal Hawaii at stud, unraced sweepstake here in Clonmel, and he has a great touch of class about him, this Jack's Little Thing. In August 19, well, so still quite young, of course, bred by Droopy Sydney and out of the Dam Limini, of course, owned by Larry and Jack O'Shea and the Byrne family as well. So fantastic, they're fantastic supporters of the game, so I'm delighted to see them have a runner in such a prestigious final. And the 2 Greyhounds we mentioned before the race, who were formerly Greyhounds of the Year here in Clonmel, 5 Ali Kralk ran quite well. September 16, going on 5 years of age, but ran with great credit. And Rapid Jack, of course, finishing 3rd, marching on to next week's Ballymac Kennels A1 5-5 final. And of course, we must give a great mention to the Dowling family, of course, wonderful supporters of this game as well, who sponsor this sweepstake. But between New and Sheahan and Jack's Little Thing, it's going to be a cracking final. I, for one, cannot wait to see the draw, who is going to be where, but it's going to be an absolutely cracking final. We have so much to look forward. It's been an amazing night's racing here in Clonmel, and all the finals we have to look forward to next week. It's going to be a very, very short week in anticipation for this fantastic night's racing. The sun is shining down here in Clonmel all evening, and please God, next weekend we'll have more of the same. But great credit to Jack taking our final race of the night and marching on to the final of the A1 5-5 Ballymacallans next week.
Yeah, thanks for that, Joe. We have had the Greyhounds parading here at Shelbourne for our final race of the night. In fact, the last Greyhound has just finished parading. By the way, if you want to get involved in the trio here at Shelbourne, we've saved the best to last because we've a guaranteed trio of €500 for our final race of the night. And remember, the only way to get involved in the trio is on the Bark and Buzz app. If you haven't signed up, you still have time to do so before our final race. So the biggest trio of the night, and they've paid well so far here at Shelbourne, but we're guaranteeing the trio for €500 for our final race. So let's hopefully try and put you in the right direction with our 3 to follow in our final race. And the first of the Greyhounds we're going to look at is Trap 1, which is Knockboy Flight for John O'Hurley and David O'Hurley, trained by Kevin McLean. 2 very good runs the last couple of weeks. 29.61 for the 550 trip takes fairly doing, and he's got a good draw, and he could take some catching. If he can reproduce last week's run, Knockboy Flight could be the one to beat. The next we're going to concentrate on is Razzle Dazzle Peaky for the Kildare Kilgolgan Syndicate, trained by Neelius O'Connell, of course, the winner of the Irish Derby Consolation Final last year. Nice sprint trial of 18.79 might set him up nicely for a big run here. And the last of our Greyhounds is the Graham Holland trained Sizzler for Marion Maloney, a 10-time winner from 21 starts. He's been to Toaster. Obviously, he won't be taking up his assignment in the English Greyhound Derby, but he has got good runs here at Shelbourne. The only drawback with him, he can lose a bit of ground running wide at the bends, but if he puts it in like he can, Sizzler has got a big chance. And, well, anytime Graham Holland's got a runner here at Shelbourne, it'd be very unwise to rule out. So it's our final race of the night here at Shelbourne. The Barking Buzz app, open 5.50, and as we said with the trio, we're saving the best to last. It's a whopping €500 guaranteed trio. So Ian, let's try and put them in the right direction. If they're getting involved in the trio in the Bark and Buzz app, let's try and give them the 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, tricky enough little race to finish with Knockboy Flight and Sizzler, the 2 well-drawn dogs. Of course, Razzle Dazzle Peaky is running the very best of company. He's racing from Trap 4. He'd probably prefer a little closer to the fence. If I had to put my money on something, it would be on one of the bookends, 1 or 6. Sizzler ran in Toaster. Probably didn't handle the place. He was running far too wide, so they wisely decided not to run him at the English Derby or in the English Derby, and as a result he's back here at Shelburne Park, where it's very much his favourite place. He'll certainly go up fast from Trap 6, and if he did happen to hit the front, it'd be hard enough to pick up. He will hand away a little bit of ground on the 4 corners, but he's certainly plenty of pace. Knockboy Flight, though, is perfectly housed on the inside. As I've said, I make it between the 2 of them. I'll go with Sizzler, maybe just to get loose. Knockboy Flight for second spot. Don't be surprised if Burgess Elite runs well in third, perhaps from Trap 2. So I'll go 6, 1 and 2. That's the way I see the finale, but it is tricky.
Yeah, tricky indeed. You got a couple of minutes to go until the finale at Shelbourne. Still time to get involved in that trio, by the way. We're guaranteeing it for €500 if you're feeling lucky on this Saturday night. Just a recap on the winners here tonight at Shelbourne in the Sporting Press online edition Irish Oaks, if you didn't catch all the action. Billy Steva has set the standard with a 28.18 run. She was brilliant from Trap 4, and if she can reproduce that over the next 3 weeks, she'll take some beating. The defending champion, Ballymacbeanie, she did nothing wrong in winning it in 28.29. Remember, she's only back from a layoff. She's only had a couple of runs since a layoff, so you can expect her to improve next week. She was second fastest of the night. Third fastest was Galadriel. Maybe a little bit of a surprise in the opening second round heat, but she recorded 28.31, and on that run, she's most definitely put herself in with a chance of going all the way. As we said when we were recapping the results, that was a 1-2 for Declan Byrne. 28.33 was the time recorded from Front Armani in the race of the night. If she can just improve her trapping a little bit, she has got a serious chance of going all the way. And Ballymacar, 28.37 was the 5th fastest time of the night. And as we said, the top 5 times only separated by 2.5 lengths or so, which really does suggest the top class standard that we've got for this year's Classic. But as you can see, they're going to traps for the final time here tonight at Shelbourne. We will be getting back to Clonmel because Joe is going to catch up with Eddie Anderson, the racing manager at Clonmel. It's been a great night's action there, and Joe will be getting the thoughts of Eddie for no doubt looking at next week's top class card. But speaking of top class, it's a top class finale here at Shelburne. The trio guaranteed for €500. If you're not in, you can't win. Ian, for the final time, call them home.
Yeah, thanks, Rob. Final race in the card here this evening. It's flown in 11 cracking races thus far. All in for the finale here at Shelburne. In 1, Knockboy Flight. 2, Burgess Elite. In 3, Lolo's Messi. 4 is Razzle Dazzle Peaky. 5, All for the Best. And out in 6, Sizzler. Hair coming up behind. Racing, good start by Trap 4 in the middle. Now All for the Best going up well up the inside. Knockboy Flight, Sizzler trying to get involved in the outside, but out front, and All for the Best now challenged and headed by 1 Knockboy Flight from 5 All for the Best. Then comes 4 Razzle Dazzle Peaky, and Sizzler trying to get involved back in 3rd spot now, but out front and still 1 leads. Knockboy Flight, 6 Sizzler has come from the pack. He's gone into 2nd, but drifting off, and it's all allowing 1 Knockboy Flight to stretch on out front, and he's going to emerge a very comfortable winner. 2nd is 4 Razzle Dazzle Peaky, and 5 All for the Best 3rd. The winning time 29.64. Good win by Knockboy Flight.
Yeah, very good win, Knockboy Flight. We said if he could repeat his 29.61 run last week, he'd win. Well, he's gone close to doing that in 29.64. You just see it here. He just had to battle his way to the front around the opening 2 bends. He railed well, which probably was fairly significant, and he's taken it up off the 2nd bend from All for the Best, who's run a blinder. At this stage, Sizzler looked a big challenger. He's cut inside All for the Best, and you think he's going to put it up to the leader, but again, he's run wide off the final bend, which hasn't helped. And Razzle Dazzle Peaky, on his first run after a little bit of a layoff, has run a blinder. No doubt the Kildare-Kilgalgan lads will be pretty happy with that. We didn't quite get the trio right, but we did manage the forecast, and if you did manage to click with the trio in our final race, it was a big guarantee. A very well done. Right, back to Clonmel we go, because our man Joe has caught up with Eddie Anderson.
Well, Eddie, there's an old saying, jack of all trades. If a master of none, I'd have you down as a jack of all trades and a master of all. You're a racing manager, you're smiling at people coming in the door, taking entry fees. You're doing it all here in Clonmel. There's great credit due. There's fantastic nights racing here. Great credit due to you all. Can you sum up tonight's action? Fantastic night.
Oh, look, the Project Stakes is a very special place, and people of Clonmel, for many years, it's been a fantastic competition, and the locals always supported well. It's a pity there's no one here to see it tonight. There was 10 semi-finals, and unfortunately there was no one here to see it, but the Project Stakes is a very special place in all of our hearts here, and this year's Project Stakes looks to be exceptional. Like the runs that we've seen all along has been phenomenal. Tonight's performance of Good Cody was unbelievable. 15.70 split, never been seen before. That would break the track record for the whole 300-yard distance, and his time of 28.09 was probably the 3rd or 4th fastest time ever recorded at the track. You know, and then there is the finalists. You have 2 or 3 sub 28.30 dogs in it. You have Explosive Boy, who's favoured for the Con Kirby. He clocked 28.08 twice from Trap 1 in Limerick. He's drawn perfectly in 1, but he'll have to come away because, you know, Good Cody showed phenomenal pace tonight. And out of Trap 5, he has fast breakers on either side of him in 4 and 6. You know,
it's a very tough final.
He could be the meat and the sandwich, but if he gets away, he'll take some stopping because the halfway, and he's the youngest dog in the race. He's in October 19.
And his performance tonight, Eddie, I have to say, there's kind of glimpses of Clare's Rocket in 2016. It just felt like that. It was just breathtaking.
Yeah, well, Clare's Rocket was the only dog to break 28 seconds here, and he'd done it in 3 or 4 times during that Project Stakes when he romped home in it. No dog has come near that since, but the run tonight got very close.
Absolutely fantastic. Well, Eddie, there's great credit due to you and your fantastic team here in Clonmel, and this week is going to be very, very short in anticipation for all the finals, and well done, and looking forward to catching up with you again next week.
Thanks very much, Joe. Take care.
Yeah, thanks for that, Eddie. We're most certainly looking forward to next week, and what a lineup we've got in that Produce Stakes final. If you didn't hear the draw, we're just going to recap it once again, because the draw has made it open just like it did in the Conananny Kirby and pretty much all of the big classic finals we've had this year. In Trap 1 is Explosive. Remember, he got to the final of the Conananny Kirby. He didn't get Trap 1 on that occasion, but he's got it tonight, and no doubt the Guilfoyles will be fairly happy. Vallegro is in Trap 2. Deadly Destroyer for Carl Ramsbottom is in Trap 3. Cash Return is in Trap 4. Good Cody. They wanted an inside berth. They're in trap 5. That has made this final wide open. And Cormac Chief is in trap 16. You've had a little bit of time to divulge and maybe take that trap draw on board, and it most definitely has made it more open. And it's a very similar scenario to what happened in Limerick. We were all expecting if Explosive Boy got 1 or 2, he was going to be a sure price. And the same with Good Cody now. He's probably going to be odds against.
Oh, he'll certainly be odds against. He may not even be favoured. Explosive Boy will probably be favoured from the draw. Vallejo on trap 2, Deadly Destroyer in 3. Ideally, they'd probably prefer to be the other way around. Deadly Destroyer will edge the defence. Vallejo, he's got fast starters on either side of him. You need to be really hit the lids. Cash return is going to be a big price, there's no question about that. Good Cody in 5. As we said, if he was going to be drawn on the outside, he probably wanted to be on the outside of Cormac Chief, who has been showing tremendous trapping ability and great early speed. He again led tonight, of course. He was carried off that second bend, but did run well to qualify. Explosive Boy left in front, of course, at that point. But, it's a cracking final, but it all comes down to those first 5 yards, really, if Explosive Boy hits the lids. And if Good Cody fails to get that clear run in the early yards, well, Explosive Boy is going to take some stopping. Simple as that.
Yeah, trap draws most definitely make final. Let's have a recap here tonight. Brilliant action, dominated by the females. Obviously on the clock it tells us that Billy's Diva was the best on the night, but what were you most taken by?
I think it was Billy's Diva. I think she was pretty impressive tonight. As I said earlier on, I'm not sure the real early speedsters were getting their toe in and getting away from their rivals early. She was one of the few that showed the good early speed to get around that corner, stretched on, she won well. You had to like Galadriel, she ran very well. Of course, Ballymacbeanie, we've used the term workmanlike on a few occasions, but as you've said, it's because we know how brilliant she is. She still won in fine style. Scooby Princess had to really work for her victory, but deserved it. It was great to see someone like Keith Powell having Kitty's Roddick, she ran very well from the front. It'll get tougher from here on in, although she's got a good draw in the next round and she could easily qualify. We of course have to mention the red hot heat. Susie Sapphire picked up by Front of Manny, who was stunning in victory. Ballydoyle Rossa also ran very well in defeat. Herself and Susie Sapphire can still play a big part in the Oaks. Susie Sapphire is yet to win a round, but she has brilliant early speed. She really raced into the corner tonight to get to the front. She couldn't hold on from Front of Manny, but very few could. Front of Manny is stunningly fast. She's not blessed with early speed, however, and that could be her problem going forward. But it's a cracking Oaks. Liam Dowling has won there, as you'd expect. In Ballymacart, she was well housed tonight in Trap 1. She made the most of the draw. She got to the front early. Tip Top Taylor, another good storyline there for Paul Ryan. She ran an incredible race in defeat. There's still plenty winning in this. If you were to ask me about 3 or 4 at the top of the market, you can't look past the likes of Ballymacbeanie, Billy's Diva, Scooby Princess, Front of Manny, and then after them you have the likes of Susie Sapphire, Ballydoyle Rossa, even something like Clona Sky or something like that. I'm forgetting something. I'm definitely forgetting something. Ballymac Orna, the likes of them, can't be ruled out. Galadriel, but it truly is a tremendous Oaks, and if the best 12 qualify next week, well, we're in for some end of this competition. A really, really cracking bitch classic.
Yeah, and you say the best 12, there's a great chance that's going to happen because the draw has been kind. We've got a couple of really good matchups, but we haven't got 3 or 4 all put into the same quarter-final. And we don't want that at this stage. Like, you look at the opening quarter-final, we've got Billy's Diva, Ballydoyle Rossa and Galadriel and Ballymacart. It's a brilliant quarter-final, but they've been separated nicely.
Yeah, they could have been separated a little bit better. That heat is no question the weakest of the 4 by quite some margin, and if you'd thrown maybe 1 or 2 of the bigger names in that one, well, then all of a sudden you were sort of almost guaranteed to get the top 8 through. As it is, something's going to go out. One of the big names is going to go out. What it is, we don't know, and there's still 1 or 2 springers there. There's something that's going to go to the final where you go, I gave that no chance of getting that far. Something that'll be probably 33-1 in the final, but we need storylines too. This sport would be no fun if the fastest 6 always qualified for the final. It's great to see, a new name getting there, and who knows what the new name will be this year. Will it be the likes of a Kitty's Roddick or a Tip Top Taylor or something like that? Don't know. We'll see. It's coming to a boil nicely. That's all I can tell you.
Left in. You gave us your 4 to follow in the English Derby. We're going to ask you for the winner. What wins the English Derby starting next Thursday?
Ireland. Do I get away with that? I have absolutely no doubt that the trophy will be coming back to Ireland. Picking a winner is a very, very different case, though. I'll go with Knocknabull Sid, but genuinely, I'd want 12 picks.
Yeah, brilliant. It always Knocknabull Sid it is for Ian to give Pat Buckley back-to-back wins in the English Greyhound Derby. That starts Thursday, and of course over the coming weeks we'll be updating you as we can. But that's it, folks. What a night it's been, and again, thank you for watching. We'll be back next week for another star-studded programme. We'll have the final of the Larry O'Rourke Produce Stakes. We'll have the quarter-finals of the Sporting Press Irish Oaks. But we're going to sign off this week with a special mention to a special lady, because there were many awards handed out at the recent National Greyhound Awards, and one of those went to Brenda Powderly for the work she does behind the scenes in most certain circumstances with retired greyhounds. Ted and Brandy are familiar faces here at Shelbourne, and Brenda, she got this award for the work she does. Have a look, and we'll see you next week.
There were always greyhounds here when I growing up. My late uncle Matty Moonan and my mother, they were into greyhounds from their early years. I remember my uncle often telling the story. He put his first greyhound in traps in 1934. My mother used to tell a great story of one time she had a greyhound running at the old track at Dundalk, and she was heading to Dundalk with the dog, and the car broke down. So she got a lift into Drogheda and went on the train to Dundalk and walked the dog from the train station to the track at Dundalk, and the dog came second that night. So I wonder what would he have done had he been got the whole way in the car. He might have won the race. I was coming home from holidays one time a few years ago, and Ted was down to race at Shelburne that night. So I didn't come home. I went straight from the airport into Shelburne, and I have to say he won a wonderful 5.75 that night. So it kind of paid for a bit of the holiday, so very fond of Ted that night, so it was a great night. This is Ted. This is my pride and joy, my retired greyhound. Ted is, he's now 10-year-old, yeah, and he raced for me. I've had him since he was 3 months old, and reared him and raced him. He raced at Harold's Cross in Shelbourne and won a few races there, and since he retired, he's been the ambassador for the Retired Greyhound Trust, particularly at Shelbourne Park, and leading out the Derby finals, and we've had some great nights at Shelbourne, and hopefully we'll be back there again. I have some wonderful helpers in Shelbourne, and I couldn't have done it without them. I have to mention especially the girls, the Flynn girls, Ciara, Caitlin, Lucy, and of course Samantha, and also their friend Katie Byrne. And also I have to mention Paul Smith, who would bring the dogs up maybe nights I couldn't go, and he did a lot of work with the dogs, and it was the best thing we ever did. It's absolutely fantastic, and we've met some wonderful people. And one of the other dogs, Brandy, one of the retired dogs we bring in, he knows the regulars in Shelbourne Park, particularly May Cairns and Antoinette Egan, because he goes down to them any night he's in Shelbourne and gets treats, chicken nuggets, so he knows his way right down to their table every night that he's in Shelbourne. So it's great to have all the help, and couldn't do it without them. I got involved in the IRGT through a friend of mine, Bridget Frank, and I was appointed as onto the committee. I think it was 2016 or thereabouts, and it was really then that we started the work in Shelbourne and the meet and greet, and you know, and the more you get into it, the more involved and the more you want to do. And then about a year or so later, I was appointed as a trustee, which I still am, and like the work we do is, lockdown has kind of helped us in a way, because there are so many more greyhounds being rehomed in the last year, and even this year, as soon as they're ready to go, they're adopted. Trainers and owners, they are much more proactive now for rehoming their dogs, and like they'll get in touch with either myself or somebody else from the IRGT, and like it's such a simple process getting your dog rehomed. Just get in touch with the IRGT, the name of your dog, and they'll take it from there, and they'll guide you through the steps all the way. And like, never be afraid to lift the phone, just ask the questions, and we'll help you rehome your dog. We'll help you with getting through the whole process of rehoming. It's very special for me to win this award. I just can't believe. I remember when I got the phone call, the day I got the phone call, absolutely over the moon, and I appreciate it so much. And actually it's a great incentive to do even more, you know, so thank you very much to Greyhound Racing Ireland. I really appreciate it.